Home at betonline.net.
Jason Minix, Rob Thompson, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. If you're on the go, and even if you're not, go to ESPNSA.com right now. And if you're near your Facebook feed, you can jump on there. If you're near your YouTube feed, you can jump on there. But in any minute here, we're expecting Dallas Cowboy legend, soon to be a Hall of Famer, Demarcus Ware is going to join us in just a couple of moments as we look forward to a big Super Bowl weekend and all that goes along with it. It's always good to talk to a legend, and Demarcus Ware, I guess, will be our official kickoff to our big game coverage that'll be going on all week long, brought to you by Dietz Tractor.
It certainly is, and what a way to start a Friday show, and we've got a stacked show today. I mean, there's so much going on with Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans in David Culley. And a lot of us don't know who David Culley is, don't know a lot about David Culley, who comes from the Baltimore Ravens. He had an interesting opening press conference today, and James Pledger said, who do we know with the Ravens? And so we'll go to fellow Copper's Cove High School alumni, Robert Griffin III. RG3 is going to join us in an hour at 5 o'clock. So we're going to start the show at 4 o'clock with Demarcus Ware. And then at 5 o'clock, we got RG3. It's going to be a heck of a Friday show.
We got all kinds of initials in play. RJ Ochoa will join us for his regular. And this is one we're excited about. It's been a long time in coming. Kenny Rodgers is going to join us. Not him, not that one. Kenny Rodgers, the director.
Okay,
he's, from his 30 for 30 stuff. We're having a seance. We're going to gather around our radio Ouija board. We're going to talk Islands with the Stream with Kenny Rodgers of 30 for 30 fame. You know him from the stuff that he's done in the prior years. A lot of that Buffalo, the stories, the Four Falls of Buffalo, the White Right story. He's worked, he was a cameraman and worked with the Hard Knocks. Well, he's got a new one coming out on February the 4th regarding the rivalry and the story of Al Davis and Pete Rozelle. Just a phenomenal storyteller. We've talked with him several times in the past. We're excited to have him on. Kenny Rodgers will join us at 4:30. And like Jason said, very quickly followed by RG3 and RJ Ochoa. So lots to talk about. We're just going to wait on Demarcus Ware. And in the meantime, let's talk about what we heard earlier today, Jason, as the David Culley was presented by Nick Casario to the Houston media. And what a interesting and bland press conference it was, given the times.
And honestly, I mean, when you get rid of the sideshow stuff that we know is hovering over the Houston Texans, I like the energy that Culley offered. I like the things that he had to say. But when was the last time, if there ever has been a last time, that the owner of a franchise isn't there at the introductory press conference of a new head coach? And part of me says, hey, Cal McNair probably did the right thing by saying, hey, the focus should be on the coach. But it seems cowardly that the owner wasn't there to face all the questions he has about Deshaun Watson and the whole situation. You left Nick Casario and your brand new head coach to field those questions, although they did a good job on the Zoom press conference of not allowing the media to ask a lot of tough questions. They brought in fans with questions that kind of felt like they were written by Jack Easterby.
It was a press conference that was as low key as you could possibly make it. It was we're happy, we're proud. Discussion and no more questions. We're completely out of here. It is unfortunate that is the case, and we'll get to that in a bit. Let's talk with a true legend. We're excited about this. For those of y'all that had a chance to get to your device, get there, ESPNSA.com, because when you tune it in, you will see Demarcus Ware, the pride of Auburn High, and about to get a knock on the door. A year and a couple of days away from getting a knock on the door in a hotel there in Los Angeles. Demarcus Ware joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. Sir, thank you for joining us today. Demarcus, we're awfully honored to have you.
Man, Jason and Rob, y'all are hometown guys here from Texas. And I said, you know what? They're in San Antonio. I love San Antonio down there, especially when we went down there for training camp with the Cowboys. So thanks for having me on.
I appreciate it. Man, future Hall of Famer, Cowboy legend joining us here. And you talk about coming here to training camp in the Alamo Dome. And As much as San Antonio misses having the Cowboys come to town for training camp, we get to go to Oxnard every year to cover Cowboys training camp. And as I love the Cowboys coming to San Antonio, you can't beat what was in Oxnard, right?
You can't, man. And it was so crazy. I made a joke with some of the guys about this station. It was 94.5. 94 is the number that I wore. And I never got an interview with you guys. I was like, man, I wanted to make that joke of, I see why you guys chose 94 and why you guys want to do the interview with me. But Oxnard is great. Oxnard is fun, and it's amazing.
He is Demarcus Ware joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. Busy man. The letters I want you to remember are D2W. We're going to talk about Driven to Win and how you can get yourself. And I got a particular vested interest in this. We're going to get to this in just a second. But when you got Demarcus Ware on, you got to talk football. And when you're talking football and down in San Antonio, we got to talk Dallas Cowboys.
Exactly.
All right, Demarcus, from the eyes of a legend. As we sit today in 2021, a brand new year, and looking forward to where we are, give us your broad scope sense of where the Dallas Cowboys sit today. We'll zero in on the individual issues in a bit.
I think right now is it echoing a little bit, but I just see that it was a growing process. You get to the championship, right? I'm actually deep in the playoffs, and then it started going down from there, right? But now I feel like they went through the pandemic. They went through the havoc already. Guys getting hurt, losing, Dak, certain guys not playing right. Now I think this is the new rebuilding phase that Jerry Jones can get, bringing in some defensive guys that are going to make an impact with a good 4-3 defensive coach that can bring in stuff with the defensive line, right? But then the offense getting all 4 or 5 offensive linemen back, they can actually protect the quarterback now, and then we can run the football. So I think they're in a good position. Getting everybody back healthy was the main thing. And I think they're going to get the train rolling after that.
Demarcus, when you look at last year's Cowboys defense, Jalen Smith took a lot of heat from the media and from the fans.
I can't hear you.
I think we've lost.
Try it again, Jason.
Can you hear us now, Demarcus?
I can hear you a little bit. I just try to talk over it.
When you look at Jalen Smith, was the criticism he was getting from fans and media, was it warranted in your eyes?
I think that is one of those things where he's going from a 4-3 defense to a 3-4 defense. Totally different type of player, totally different type of mentality you have to have. And now they're actually teaching him how to play the pass rush position a little bit, play a little bit different against the guards in the inside, because when you're playing a 3-4, those inside linebackers are big because they have to take on those guards, and you're going to expect now a guy that's been playing a 4-3 defense to do the same thing and be as effective. Yes, he can be, but it takes a little bit of time to get used to that. So I think that criticism that should have been thrown out of the door. He's doing what he can do, but it's a growing process.
He is Demarcus Ware, the legend, the Dallas Cowboy, Denver Bronco. We'll talk about that orange in a bit, but we'll stay with the blue for just a bit, as it's always a pleasure to talk with the legend. Demarcus, as you look at what the Cowboys are, and we look at now the news of the day is, when are they going to sign Dak Prescott? In your mind, how did we get here, and what's the best way out of it, especially with the backdrop of what's going on in Houston with the Texans and Deshaun Watson back it out and showing the control that superstars now have in the NFL?
Man, you know what? You have an opportunity to bring in a quarterback that's really homegrown already here in Houston that can come in here and play. But then you had Dak, he was on a roll, right? Got hurt, and you haven't given him a contract in 2 or 3 years. Now it's like one of those things where hopefully Dak comes back and he's in perfect health and he's able to get that position. But as a business owner, you got to say, this is a growing time for my team. I have to make sure I bring Dak back, and hopefully he's the guy that we need, right? But then on the flip side, if he's not, I got to go and get a quarterback that is capable of doing what it needs to do, because we're in a rebuilding process. And you know what, Dak, I want you to be part of it too, which still could give him enough time to get healthy and do what he needs to do. But that is a hard decision.
When you think about the hard decision, I mean, for Dak Prescott and Jerry Jones, Jerry keeps saying that he loves him, keeps saying he's the quarterback of the future. You hear it from Jerry, you hear it from Steven. they did offer him a contract. They offered him over $100 million guaranteed, and Dak did turn it down. And, there's the years aspect that apparently is with that. You were able to successfully negotiate a major contract with Jerry Jones, and you were able to negotiate your way out of Dallas to go to Denver at the end, and you got that Super Bowl ring. Tell us, what is it like to negotiate with Jerry Jones on a contract the size that Dak is trying to get done?
It's the most challenging thing that any player can have to do, because he's a businessman when it comes to money, investments, how much the teams work, and where you actually land in the NFL, because I feel like he ran the NFL, right? I just, from all the owners, it's just the way that I felt. So, after that first time, in negotiating with him, you got to sort of talk to him man to man, say, hey, here's where, I am. This is how I performed. And if you're performing at that point to where you're the best guy at what you do, you get paid, So, I just think that it's one of those things where, you see when he left the game, there was a lot of leadership that the team didn't have and what he brought to the team. And I think now it's like we have to have that guy back. There's Deshaun Watson out there, but how's he going to gel with the team? There's a lot of things that, go along with that. And that's where captains come in. Like, I was a captain for 12 years in the NFL and with Dallas and in Denver. And that's why I've sort of like transitioned into the fitness space, because now I can affect people not just from the stadium, but also through fitness outside of the stadium and getting them to live healthier lives, right? And that's just right here is an opportunity for me after 3 back surgeries, a neck surgery. That's the reason why I retired, guys. All in one season. And I broke my arm all in one season, recovered. And I said, I got to be able to give that fountain of youth to you guys, right? I got to bring it down there to San Antonio with D2W, with Driven to Win. I'm going to get you guys on that app. I just want you to download it. The only thing I want for you to do is download the app. It's free. We've downloaded a lot of crazy things for free, right? So just download the Driven to Win app, and then just give it a chance, and I promise you'll get what you need.
Demarcus Ware, the Sun Belt Player of the Year in 2003. I'm looking at all the accolades. I wanted to pull one out you might not hear very often. He was, in fact, the Sun Belt Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year in 2003, joining us. Now, Demarcus, in the grand scheme of things, very rarely can I fall into the very same category as Demarcus Ware. But in this one, I actually do. As a guy who was beat up and wore out and lots of injuries from lots of things outside of sports and sports,
right,
trying to get back into shape in this day and age is not easy. I mean, just the diet part of it, because I'm sitting next to my refrigerator 10 hours a day. That's there. And then working out, I can't go to a gym. So what do? You have arrived with the right thing at the right time. And especially with a guy like me who's kind of beat up and coming from the place where you came from when you started this, it's a great way to get yourself in shape, because you don't want to be one of those 40% of people out there.
The thing is, and there's 40% of people are obese, right? And I sit right here and say, I just need to affect one person at a time. And just like you said, you're working hard. You can't go to a gym. And so that's why I created bodyweight programs to just get you off the couch, get you moving, so you can at least stay healthy, right? But then I got, in gym programs in there. If you want to lift weights, great. I got that in there for you too. But it also learns with you. It's using augmented reality. So when you pop that thing up right in front of you, it's me there, and you actually can get in there with that figure, augmented reality figure of me, and I'm doing the exercises correctly for you, right? But then, like, if you put how much weight you are, how much weight you're lifting, it learns with you. So it has machine learning in there too. So it's a machine aspect of that. Listen, I'm going to get you on there. I see you smiling down there. I'm going to get you on there. I'm going to get that cake out of your hand, and I'm going to get you on there to download this app. I got you.
I'm looking at it, and the augmented Demarcus Ware looks so much better than me. Can we augment me too?
I got you. I got you.
Well, and you look at it, one of the things I appreciate going through your app when I downloaded it today, and it just hit the app stores. So, I mean, people are starting to download it. They're learning about it. I'm going through it. The home workouts I do like. Now, I'm looking at this and thinking, okay, an NFL player in his workout. I remember when Dat Wynn was working with us here at ESPN San Antonio, and as beat up as Dat Wynn was, Demarcus, and you know this, he would go work out and well, let's just say his warm-up was more than my whole workout could ever be, right? I would diet, and so I was a little worried about this one, but you talk about the different body weights, the things you could do, because while we're all home because of Corona, we remember the freshman 15 that girls used to talk about. I think we all have the COVID-19 pounds now.
Right.
When you look at that, the body weight stuff, very interesting, because this is something I can do. I can't do your workout, Demarcus Ware, but I can do some of these body weight workouts.
And that's why I have something in there for everybody. You got me doing exercises that everybody can do, but also doing some things in there to make sure you stay motivated on how to build the best you, right? This thing, usually when you get a workout, 30 days, you lose 10, then you plateau. This actually grows with you, but also it's me taking you along the way. And one thing I want people to understand is like, I was actually there to help build this app. It wasn't like, okay, well, then Demarcus got a company to do it. All of the content I film myself here, right? Got a company for that. I mean, the hard work and all the voiceovers for everything, that's actually me. I'm not paying nobody to do this. It's me doing it myself, putting that work in just like I played, because I want it to be authentic. I want it to be me. And people say, you know what? He put the time in. At least I can download it for free and see what we got.
Demarcus, do you yell at me like I'm like my old coaches? Do you get old school legit on us?
You know what? Actually, I'm not gonna yell. But if you turn that phone up to 100, it might sound like it. It might sound like I'm yelling if you turn the phone up to 100. At 80, maybe not. But just crank the volume up and it'll feel just the same.
Well, I'm not sure I wanted it anyway. I like the kind of days. Demarcus Ware, the
Rob's
legend.
get yelled at. That's what I mean, he played at Texas Tech in basketball back in the 80s. He likes getting yelled at. He needs a coach.
He likes that.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, he wants that motivator.
That's how I got where I am today.
Yeah, you want that motivator. So guess what? You know what? The guy upstairs, Jason, has downloaded it, but you have not downloaded it yet. I know down at the bottom down there, you have not downloaded it yet, Rob. Come on now. You need to download this.
I was convinced. Let me tell you, I got a ski trip in about 6 weeks, and you and me are going to get that again.
Yeah. Let's get it. Me and you. Just go to the App Store. B2W, just go to the App Store. It'll be right there. It's one of the top new apps right now in the Apple App Store, which is really cool to have this app out for a week. And then they're saying, hey, you're one of the top new apps out there in the App Store, and there's billions of apps. That's a big thing for me. That's like, man, that's cool. That's like winning the Super Bowl in the software space over there. That's a whole different beast.
Yeah. Well, as Cowboy fans, we don't know what it's like for a team to win the Super Bowl. It's been a long time. You actually know what it's like to win a Super Bowl. You got that ring when you went to Denver. Super Bowl a week from Sunday. And I'm looking at, there's two rules, right? You never bet against Tom Brady. But how do you stop Patrick Mahomes as a defensive legend going in? If you were playing defense right now for the Buccaneers, what would be the one thing you could do to try to slow down, maybe stop Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City?
You know what? I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they have what it needs. You got Sue in the middle. You got Pierre-Paul and Shaq Barrett on the outside. And one thing that we did actually with Shaq and also with Vaughn, they let me rush. It was only one rusher that can get to the quarterback. Everybody else was a spy guy, knowing that Patrick Mahomes can move around. So you get one guy that can get there. Everybody else, the three-man rush, you let them hold him down and make him throw the football and make him make those mistakes, because they have the corners that can play man-to-man on Tyreek Hill and Kelsey, right? But then again, the main thing is being able to get pressure, and they can do that. So, with me, if you're going to ask me a question on who I think is going to win the Super Bowl, I would say Tampa Bay, because Fisher's out. You got Pierre-Paul on number 2, left tackle. So I'm thinking that he's going to bring the pressure, and, they're not going to be able to, withstand that. Patrick Mahomes, he can move around, though, so which is a good thing.
It certainly is. And this is a good thing, too. Demarcus Ware. It's D2W Fitness by Demarcus Ware. Go to your iOS, go to your App Store, get it downloaded. He's going to take you there, and he's seriously in it. He put it together. You want to train like a champ, work out with the champ, you get to. Demarcus Ware joining us here on the Blitz. We want to thank you for stopping by, my friend. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. We look forward to seeing you in person real soon.
All right, thank you so much.
Demarcus Ware right here on ESPN San Antonio. Well, that's a pretty good way to kick off your Friday. What do you say?
Yes, sir.
Let's talk to a true legend. I told everybody I knew today that I was talking with Demarcus Ware, and I'm of a generation, and then there's another generation. There's the generation that's my son's age. That when I said that, my son's knees buckled. He is of that level for Dallas Cowboy lore, top 5 of all time, and you just got him right here on ESPN San Antonio. We got so much more coming. We're going to talk with Kenny Rodgers post haste, and we're going to look forward to looking at the Culley presser, which was a complete mess. And RG3 will be here a little after 5 as we look toward that brand new coach in Houston. Stay where you are. That's the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM on the go at ESPNSA.com.
And you think about that big game a week from Sunday, you're going to fire up the grill. You want the best sausage on that grill. Make sure you get some Kielbasa smoked sausage. That's the authentic sausage you're looking for, the kind you could find in butcher shops back in the old days. And it's because the way they make their legendary smoked sausage. They do it in small 150-pound batches with only fresh, high-quality ingredients, never frozen meat. They don't add fillers or chemicals that you can't pronounce. Then it is smoked over real hardwood, just the way Rufus Kielbasa did back in 1949 when he started the company right here in San Antonio, and everything they make is still made here in San Antonio over there off of South Brazos Street. They're a great local company on a mission to reintroduce you to authentic smoked meats. So when you buy Kielbasa brand sausage, you know you're getting the best, most authentic smoked sausage you will ever eat. Michael Kielbasa guarantees it's going to be the best. If not, call him. He'll give your money back. He puts his phone number on the back of every package sold. Kielbasa sausage is now available at Walmart. And you can find Kielbasa sausage, Kielbasa bacon, Kielbasa chorizo, and those great Kielbasa breakfast links at an H-E-B near you. You want the best for the big game? Make sure you get some Kielbasa today.
Every Thursday night at 7 after the Blitz, ESPN San Antonio brings you Down for the Count, the premier wrestling and sports entertainment talk show featuring news and interviews from WWE, NXT, and AEW. Down for the Count, only on ESPN San Antonio.
Well, San Antonio, it's official. 2020 is hindsight, and it couldn't happen soon enough. Chip Ingram here from the Rupo. As 2021 takes over, we're excited for NFL playoffs, the new look Spurs, and the prospect of life without masks and curfews and daily briefings. I want to thank you personally for your support through one hell of a year, and invite you to keep coming back to the Rupo, located at 281 in Redland Road. See you at the Rupo.
You love Southern Recipe small batches, bold pork rind flavors. Whether it's their spicy dill, Korean kimchi barbecue, or pasilla chili cheese, they've got the keto-friendly protein-packed snack that crushes all others. Want to win $5,000 plus Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds for a whole year? Enter at porkrinds.com right now. Porkrinds.com. Plus, you'll have a chance to win a one-on-one conversation with a Pro Football Hall of Famer. And while you're at H-E-B, grab a bag of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Jason Minnick's here for BSG, the company that brings you the best in home security and smart home technology. The security system in my house is from BSG. The video cameras, video doorbell, and other features are fantastic. Right now, get a free basic smart home security system for as low as $29.95 a month. Free installation, no money down, no activation fee, and no payments for the first 6 months on select home security system packages. Learn more at bsgtexas.com/radio. I love the security system in my home, and BSG installed the same system in my mother's house. Large, easy-to-use LCD screen, and the icons on the panel are the same as on the app. It's easy to use and gives you that great peace of mind. BSG is San Antonio's home technology company, a great local company built on trust, quality, and safety. They're the best in the industry. Call 210-877-1222 or go to bsgtexas.com/radio.
See the best of the best, the area's top high school seniors in the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game presented by H-E-B. 112 All-Stars from 62 high schools will compete in the annual showdown. Saturday, January 30th at Hero Stadium. Tickets are just $10 in advance, $15 on game day. The San Antonio Sports All-Star Game presented by H-E-B. January 30th at Hero Stadium, kickoff at 2 p.m. Tickets available at sanantoniosports.org. Sponsored by H-E-B, the U.S. Army, and Sierra, PMG, Whataburger, and Frost.
O'Reilly. This is Sarah's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
Driving cross country with 2 young children is ambitious, to say the least. Then our check engine light came on. We pulled into O'Reilly Auto Parts and they tested it. Turned out it was a faulty sensor. They referred us to a great mechanic just down the street and we were back on the road in no time.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, friend. It's your home speaking, and I need some favors. Could you turn on some of the lights in the basement? I'm scared of the dark. Also, this one is easy. Could you bundle your home and car insurance with Geico so we could save money? Last thing, just a suggestion. Could you steam clean the carpets? I need a spa day.
Geico. For bundling made easy, go to geico.com today.
Before we take some questions, which I'm sure there's a few out there, I just want to address a couple things here quickly before we get started. So organizationally, just want to reiterate our commitment to Deshaun Watson. He's had a great impact on this organization, a great impact on a lot of people, a great impact on this team. And we look forward to the opportunity to spend more time with him here this spring once we get started. And, you know, we have zero interest in trading the player. We have a great plan, a great vision for him and for this team and his role on our team. And we look forward to the opportunity to spend more time with him here this spring.
That's Nick Casario talking about number 4, that player. They're not going to move him. Welcome on to the Blitz. You're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM on the go at ESPNSA.com. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. That was Nick Casario in the presser today in the introduction of David Culley. And while Casario was rife with praise for the new head coach Culley, and deservedly so, it was very odd that the owner was not present for the presentation.
Coward Cal is his new name. Dude, take the bullets. Take the questions. A part of me says, well, if he doesn't show up, you know, the spotlight will be on the new head coach where it should be. No, dude, everybody's still going to ask about Watson. And I appreciate what Nick Casario says. But if Watson is already feeling a little disrespected, don't say we have no interest in getting rid of that player because, you know, I mean, it's like, yeah, I got my Matchbox toy. You want to trade Army guys? You know, I got this one over here. I got this one over there. We can do that. It's that player. You're just that player. We got no way. Dude, call him by his name. I know he did a couple of times, but if Deshaun is already feeling disrespected, I imagine that comment doesn't sit well with Deshaun. Yeah, you don't want to get rid of that guy.
We're going to learn more about David Culley a little after 5 o'clock as RG3. That's right. Robert Griffin's going to join us. Heisman Trophy winner. Had played for Culley up there in Baltimore. We'll get some insight from him. When we come back, Kenny Rodgers, the director, is going to join us. He's put a lot of things out on ESPN. The Four Falls of Buffalo being the most famous, but certainly Deion's Doubleday, the 2 Bills, all that. He's got a new one coming out February the 4th. We're going to talk to him about football in general. He's got a lot of knowledge. He's a great interview. We can't wait to have him. Kenny Rodgers comes next here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
If your brakes are bad or you think they're going bad, you need to know about New Brakes. NewBrakes.com, NUBrakes.com. They're a mobile brake shop. At New Brakes, they've made getting your brakes repaired easy, convenient, and affordable because they will come to you to fix your brakes. Their certified brake techs will come to your home. They'll come to your office, wherever you are, and get your brakes taken care of. They'll fix your brakes, only your brakes. That's all they do. Most repairs are done in less than an hour. They only use premium brake parts and back all repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. Think about how convenient that is. You know, if your brakes are bad, and let's face it, if, you know, most people, that's, you know, you don't want to have to deal with it because you got to go to a shop, wait a couple hours, or leave your car there, go back and get it the next day or whatever. Here, they'll come to your house. If you're working, you're doing a Zoom meeting, you're watching TV, maybe you're doing a radio show, they're all outside fixing your brakes. It's that convenient. It's that easy. And they're fantastic at it. Go read all their 5-star reviews. Schedule your repair at NUBrakes.com. Save 10% when you mention my name or ESPN San Antonio at NewBrakes.com. That's nubreaks.com.
You could win $50,000 in the ESPN San Antonio Big Game Score Contest. Can you pick it perfectly for the chance to win $50,000? Go now to ESPNSA.com and enter what you think the score will be. Sign up today at ESPNSA.com.
Heard in an accident and bills piling up? Thomas J. Henry can advance living expenses on qualified cases. Start your claim today at tjhlaw.com/radio. That's tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Technology supposed to get less expensive over time? Well, there's a simple explanation. For decades, the eyewear industry has been dominated by a single company that's kept prices artificially high while reaping huge profits.
Yikes.
Warby Parker was created to change that. They design and produce their own eyewear and then sell it directly to you for a fraction of the price. Warby Parker's high-quality glasses start at just $95, including your prescription. And if you need an updated prescription, they've got a few easy ways to help you get one. Just go to warbyparker.com to try 5 pairs of frames for free. They'll ship them to you to try out for 5 days. If you find a style you like, they'll send you a fresh pair with your prescription. Easy. Go to warbyparker.com to pick your 5 frames to try on at home for free. That's warbyparker.com to get started for free. warbyparker.com.
Paid for by Asset Marketing Services, LLC. 2021 marks the 35th anniversary of the American Eagle Coin Program, and these historic gold coins will never be the same again. Why?
The U.S. Mint has unveiled a new design for the 2021 American Gold Eagle coins.
This means now is your last chance to get an American Gold Eagle coin with the original Eagle design.
The American Eagle Coin Series has become the best-selling coin series in the world.
Act fast or miss your opportunity to own the last year of this historic Gold Eagle coin design.
Just call govmint.com at 1-800-859-1629 and you're guaranteed a shiny new, perfect mint condition American Gold Eagle coin.
Get them now before time runs out.
Call 1-800-859-1629 now and you'll receive your very own 2021 Gold Eagle Guide, free just for calling.
This exclusive offer is only available by phone. Call 1-800-859-1629 now to secure your American Gold Eagle coins before this historic design ceases production. That's 1-800-859-1629.
Any credit card can offer cash back, but only Discover matches all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year. It's like getting one of those birthday cards that's shaped like cash, so you already know there's cash inside before opening it. But in this case, it's stuffed with your first year cash back match, and you don't even have to send a thank you note. Cashback match. Only by Discover Card. Learn more at discover.com/match. Discover. Something brighter.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Sure thing. We can help you replace those wipers. If yours are squeaking or streaking, it's probably time. We've got a wide selection of wipers that can stand up to any weather, including the right ones for your make and model. We've even got more ways to get them fast, like our next day delivery or free same-day store pickup. Getting the job done just got easier. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Hey, it's the Blitz. It's Friday. You're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM on the go at ESPNSA.com. We're glad you're with us. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. On February the 4th, got a brand new one of those spectacular ESPN 3030s coming up. And we are welcoming on Kenny Rodgers. Kenny's a friend of the show. We've had him on. We met you, Kenny, back at the Super Bowl in Minneapolis. And I forget which one you were promoting then, but it was a wonderful conversation. We're excited to have you back. In this age, your storytelling has been a whole lot to a whole lot of people, as we've had lots of time to sit and watch some great documentaries. Welcome aboard, Kenny.
Well, I appreciate it. I wish we could be in person this year. You know, let's get this thing over with so we can get back together.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Now, the new one, obviously the Al Davis versus the NFL. How much fun did you have putting this one together and going back and thinking about all the history between Al Davis and the National Football League?
A ton of fun, because I tell you, it's really easy to think about history that's 40 years old and say, oh, that's just going to be a bunch of old footage and boring footage. And history. A lot of people don't like history. You think about sitting in a classroom and hearing about old stuff, but this is quite different because Al Davis was one of the greatest characters in the history of sports. I mean, hands down, not just in his accomplishments, just in his personality. He is just incredible on camera. And we have so much material on him in our archives and in ESPN's archives. And we found so much stuff. And this war between him and the league, and particularly him versus Pete Rozelle in the film, is unimaginable today. I mean, the lawsuits between he and Pete Rozelle, if they happen today, I'm telling you, when you watch the film, you would think it would blow Twitter up today. If you, just for an example, an NFL owner is testifying against Al Davis and he has a heart attack on the stand and he's taken out of the courtroom on a stretcher. And then when he recovers, he sues Al Davis for pain and suffering. I mean, can you imagine that happening today? An NFL owner having a heart attack while testifying against another NFL owner? I mean, it would be the number one story in sports for a long time. And that's just a small little quick story in this long lawsuit that happened where there's accusations of jury planning and, of intimidating witnesses and NFL owners physically threatening each other and all kinds of things that you couldn't imagine happening today. It's really entertaining.
He is Kenny Rodgers, a director. Many things you've seen on ESPN. Also worked with Hard Knocks. One of my favorites, the two Bills, is one of the best stories ever told as far as I'm concerned with football. Joining us here, got a new one coming out on February the 4th. We're excited about this. And the synopsis of Al Davis versus the NFL really digs deeper into the Rozelle and Davis relationship. And there's a couple of points I want you to make here. Is there a Jerry Jones if there's not an Al Davis?
That's a great question. And Jerry does make a little cameo in the film. At the end of the film, you got to stick around for a Jerry cameo. And I think Mr. Jones would tell you that he learned a lot, not just about ownership, but how to navigate his style of ownership, his contrarian view of ownership from Al Davis. It's one of the first people he sought out when he became an owner. Even before he became an owner, that was one of the first people he sought advice from, was Al Davis. I don't know that there could be, because Al Davis was actually, I think, Jerry Jones times 10. I know that sounds crazy today, but Al Davis was much more of a rebel, and much more of a contrarian, much more of a individualistic thinker than Mr. Jones is, and that might be hard for some to think about, but it really was the truth in the 1970s. You're talking about someone who viewed everything as competition between him and the Raiders and everyone else. There was no such thing as collaboration between he and the other teams. So while Pete Rozelle saw the league as a collaborative effort, and what can we do to make the league successful and what's best for the league as a whole, Al Davis only cared about the Raiders. He wanted what was best for the Raiders. And if that meant that the league would suffer, well, he wanted what was best for the Raiders, period. And that caused a lot of problems. And I don't think Mr. Jones is quite that much of a rebel.
Kenny Rodgers with us here on ESPN San Antonio. The new 30 for 30 debuts on February 4th. I want to ask you just a kind of a broad question in putting together a documentary like this. I'm sure you've watched, like most of us, the Tiger doc that just ran on HBO. And I thought it was well done. It was fascinating, but I kind of wish they got to visit with Tiger about it. I wanted to hear some of Tiger, but if Tiger was in it, it probably doesn't uncover all of the stuff that uncovers. When you start to make a film like this, if you were doing the Tiger doc, would you try to get Tiger to be a part of it, or do you prefer to tell the story without the main person, in his own words, sitting down doing the interview?
Well, that's a great question. I think I'm sure they tried to get Tiger. I'm sure him being the big draw, you try to get someone like that. You have to first determine from whose point of view are you telling the story. And so we determined that as well. And we determined, like they may have determined, well, we want the story to be told as close as possible to the truth and the core of the relationship. We don't want to tell it from the secondary level. In other words, we don't want to hear from people on the outside of that relationship telling us about the relationship from a distance. We don't want players or coaches, telling us about it, sports writers, sports radio guys, no offense. But we want Al Davis and Pete Rozelle to tell us the story, right? Well, wait, Al and Pete are dead. So what were we going to do? So we kind of faced the same thing that the Tiger filmmakers likely did, in that, well, we don't have the star. What do we do? So years ago, we might have cast actors and, put wigs on them and said, you're Al and you're Pete. And we kind of went a different direction with new technology, and we cast stand-ins that were of the same build, and then used deep fake technology to put digital masks on top of them so that it looks like Al Davis and Pete Rozelle's spirits are in the current day walking around Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas telling us their own story.
Well, Al Davis looked dead for 5 years before he went. How does he look now?
Well, luckily their spirits are frozen in time in the late 1980s. So
good news. Kenny Rodgers joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. Is this the future of documentaries with this deep face technology where you can?
Yeah,
I'm curious about that.
I don't know. We're the first in the sports documentary realm. It's tough. Here's the problem. If you were to cast it in 1980, say 1989, the way they look in 1989, you'd have I think a kind of a moral problem, because you would say, whoa, is this footage real? Is this from 1989? And you would be worried that people would think that this footage was actually discovered, and that is this them saying it? Is this news footage? Did they find this footage? We had to be very careful, and that's why part of the reason why we set it in Las Vegas in the new stadium as spirits that came back, to be very clear that, hey, these guys are dead. Like, they're gone. We're not trying to walk any sort of moral ground and say that this is them. We're sort of entering this science fiction world. It's going to be really tough, I think, in the future to use this technology in different ways to make sure that you're not implying that this is real footage. We were very clear that it wasn't, and we made sure that the words that they were saying were based completely on transcripts and research that we had in-house and at ESPN. So it was fairly easy in this case, but there's definitely some fine lines you have to walk, and I think it's definitely not the first time it's going to be used. I think there's going to be it's the first time, but it's not going to be the last time.
It's fascinating to think about. Obviously the subject matter, the 30 for 30, they're always great, but then you factor in, I want to tune in and see this technology again. It premieres February 4th on ESPN. Have you noticed, obviously with all of us at home now during the coronavirus pandemic and still at home, has there been more of a rush in importance to try to create more documentaries just so there's more content on ESPN, whether it's the ESPN streaming service or the other services that are out there?
I think there's more of a rush in general for ways to entertain people. I think everyone's trying to figure out where to do it. I think all of the streaming services are still in the middle of figuring themselves out. While cable still isn't dead, people are still using their televisions, they're using their computers, they're using their phones. I think we're in the middle right now of a transition. And the great thing for content creators like myself and NFL Films is it doesn't really matter where it's going. We can make it. So everyone's sort of putting content out there, and that's fine. And maybe it'll be settled I keep waiting for it to be settled. Maybe in 20 years, there'll just be one device that we're all carrying around in our heads, and we blink, and that's where we watch all of our content. I don't know, because it almost seems like there's too many different screens now. You can watch things on too many things, and I don't know where to watch things now.
Well, Kenny Rodgers, the last thing you want is us in your head. I can tell you that. It's better just to stay put with ESPNSA.com or those FM waves. Kenny Rodgers joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. Looking forward to a great 30 for 30 coming out on February the 4th. The story of Al Davis versus the NFL. The two tectonic plates that Al Davis and the NFL and Pete Rozelle that were, and that friction, the earthquakes that followed, really shaped the NFL as we see it today. And I know this is a difficult question to kind of synopsize, but what is the ongoing legacy of Al Davis in the league today?
I think it is on the field, I think is underrated. Off the field, you can talk about the stadium and the movement, to create state-of-the-art stadiums, and that's what the film does. But people forget that in the 1960s, the Lombardi Packers, were a pretty conservative type of football. And in the 1970s, once the merger happened, that AFL style of football that Al Davis brought to the NFL, the deep, long passes, the aggressive linebacker play, the hard-hitting safeties, that Raider style of football is what came on television just as football was becoming popular on television. So Pete Rozelle made it popular made it accessible on television, and that style of football that was being shown was being brought by the AFL teams, led really by the Raiders in that style. And that is what is popular today. That's what we cheer for today. We want the big hits. We want the long bombs. We want the style that Al Davis brought. And I'm not sure that if Al Davis's, style hadn't been as not just popular, but successful, that we'd have that today. You got to remember, by 1983, when he won his third Super Bowl, they had the best record in the NFL of all teams by 1983, including the Steelers, who had won 4 Super Bowls. So they were the team that represented the NFL the best by the mid-'80s.
For those of an age, we do recall all of that. Kenny Rodgers, thanks for stopping by, man. We're excited. February the 4th, it will debut. Al Davis versus the NFL. A great story told by a great storyteller. Thanks for stopping by, man.
Thank you. I'm going to hope I don't wake up and hear you in my head this morning.
Well, it's not good. And if you do, just take some aspirin. You'll get over it. Most people get over it eventually.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, Kenny. Kenny Rodgers, make sure you're checking it out. February the 4th, ESPN, 30 for 30, the story of Al Davis versus the NFL. Coming back, we got some tickets to give away. Shane Gillis has got his stand-up. The party's already begun. You want to go? We're going to be giving them away coming back. Don't forget, Robert Griffin III, Heisman Trophy winner extraordinaire, going to join us just a little after 5. We're going to talk about his experiences with David Culley, the head coach of the Houston Texans, and just catch up with an old Texan friend. Lots to talk about. Hang where you are. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
If you need your logo on gear, if you need masks, if you need uniforms done, you need to get into Sammy's Embroidery Club over on San Pedro. Especially you think about those uniforms for leagues that are coming up, whether it's Little League Soccer, Little League Baseball, Beer League Softball, whatever you've got coming on, and you're going to try to order a bunch of uniforms. And if you've generally in the past have tried to get them from overseas with all the shipping issues going on right now, call Sammy. Get them from Sammy's Embroidery Club. Shop local. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, you need your logo on any kind of gear, Sammy has over 700 uniform lines to choose from. Nobody has better prices. Sam has all the big name brands and is the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too small, certainly no order too big. Check the website, samsembroidery.com, or better yet, get into that massive showroom on San Pedro. It's a mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from the McDonald's. All items do come with a warranty, and you work with Sammy on your project. He's the owner, and he's by his phone right now. Call him 210-824-3900, 824-3900 for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
The ESPN San Antonio 10K Payday. This hour's winning word is
garden.
Enter that word now at ESPNSA.com. Another reason it pays to listen to ESPN San Antonio all day, every day.
Great cash, homie. Before we rodeo San Antonio, mosey on over to Deets Tractor. We're busting out of the chutes early with a stock full of LS tractors. And this is no 8-second ride. Take your time and choose from a field that includes compact and utility tractors at low prices. Excel in your field with LS Tractor, 6-time winner of the EDA Dealer's Choice Award. Backed by a limited 6-year warranty, LS Tractors will give you more standard features and more performance for less money. These are some of the hottest tractors around, and Deets Tractor wants to sell them to you today at unbelievable prices. Deets Tractor, where you get more tractor for less.
Pros bring something extra to every job. Now at the Home Depot, they also get something extra. Pro Extra, our free loyalty program built for pros just like you. Members earn perks with every dollar spent, like Pro Extra Dollars, a tool rental credit, and more. New members get $20 off their next in-store purchase of $200 or more just for signing up. Learn more at homedepot.com/Pro Extra. New year, more rewards, Pro Extra, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Have you wanted to speak a new language, but thought it would be too difficult? Then try Babbel. Babbel starts by teaching you words and phrases that gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations. So in 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking a new language in a few weeks. Babbel is built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to babbel.com today. That's BABBEL.com.
My name is Cade Courtley, and this is my new show, Can You Survive This Podcast? I'll be drawing on my years as a former Navy SEAL platoon commander, sniper, and CIA contractor. This show is designed to teach you techniques that will increase your chances of survival if you happen to find yourself or your family in any life-threatening disaster scenario imaginable. Subscribe and listen for free on Spotify. Can You Survive This Podcast?
The NFL and Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin.
His size will not allow him to just plug into any system and dominate.
Strong opinions, in-depth analysis from the biggest stories in the NFL.
I don't think it was the right move. A guy that won a Super Bowl 3 years ago deserves more time to try to figure it out.
Complete coverage of the NFL with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN News.
For DIY projects, you know the Home Depot is always in your corner. Now with our mobile app, it can also be in the palm of your hand. With digital tools like image search, snap a picture of something. It'll recognize it and serve up product suggestions in seconds. And our product locator will check availability and lead you right to it. The Home Depot mobile app. Download it today to get started. Only from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
It is the Blitz. How y'all doing today? Welcome on to ESPN San Antonio. He's Jason. I'm Rob. Boy, we've had a good show so far. We're only an hour in. Robert Griffin III, Heisman Trophy winner, going to join us just a little after 5. Soon to be followed by R.J. Ochoa. I mean,
So
not
it goes
quite a
downhill.
Heisman Trophy winner. I'm just saying that, he's not the lead, but, he's on the bill. So
You letting people know when the bathroom break is?
Yeah, he'll be around when we get a chance to Hey, we're going to talk
That's your
Spurs
former
as well,
co-host,
guys.
man.
I know. I don't know why. I just threw him under the bus like that. The Spurs got the Denver Nuggets tonight, an exceedingly hot Denver Nuggets team. And the Spurs, well, depending on which night you look at them, can be pretty hot. We'll try to figure out if they can expand on a little win streak here. See if they can take care of the Denver Nuggets. We'll have Jill Jelnick at 6:30 doing Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. All weekend long, Shane Gillis is performing out at the LOL. The shows have begun. If you want to go, we got some tickets for you. 656-3776. That's 656-ESPN. You can win a pair of tickets to go check out Shane Gillis. We had him on earlier in the week. He is formerly of SNL. Well, he had a cup of coffee. He was hired by SNL and then got fired before the season began because he's a little risque. Worked a little blue, got a little some people upset. You want to see that kind of humor? Caller number 10 to 656-3776. 656-ESPN is going to go see Shane Gillis. Again, Robert Griffin III is going to join us just a little after 5. We got some Jimmy Johnson sound that will make you interesting. And make you interested in Jerry Jones and his relationship there. And, you know, evidently Jimmy has a little bit of perspective on this Deshaun Watson issue. Troy was mad at him at one point. He soothed it. Can David Culley do the same? We'll hear from Jimmy talking about that. And then maybe we'll play some of Demarcus Ware later. You know, we had Demarcus Ware on, and if you missed any of it, the audio vault brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds as a prime locale. Hey, let's take a break. Let's get a glass of water, get a rub down, get ready. RG3, the Heisman Trophy winner, going to join us next. Let's David Culley's the new head coach of the Texans. Nobody knows him. RG3 does. We're going to find out about it from him. Hold on. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Can you pick the perfect score for the big game? Do, and you could win $50,000 in the ESPN San Antonio Big Game Score Contest, presented by Dietz Tractor. Go now to ESPNSA.com and enter what you think the score will be. Then wait and watch as the big game unfolds on February 7th. Head over to ESPNSA.com now for your chance to win. 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, now with 4 San Antonio area locations, all open and all practicing strict social distancing guidelines. Come eat, drink, and enjoy safely at all 4 Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar locations. And get over to the newest location, Slackers Medical Center, now opening at 7 a.m. to serve our valued medical community. Nurses, doctors, frontline workers, and staff, we thank you. Slackers Medical Center, located at Fredericksburg and Medical Center, now open at 7 a.m. Visit slackersbarsa.com for more info.
Allstate now has deeper savings, and deeper savings require deep thoughts and a deep voice, like mine. Save for being a new customer. Save more for adding DriveWise, and save even more for driving safely. Visit allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. As someone once said, saving today is money tomorrow. That's deep.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Buonasera.
Buonasera. How can I make the most of waiting for my next big vacation?
Translate your questions into goals by investing with Merrill Edge Self-Directed. It's more accessible than you think, with helpful planning tools plus free online stock and ETF trades, so you can keep practicing your pronunciation. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/withinreach to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated. Registered broker-dealer, member SIPC. Other fees may apply. Investment products are not FDIC insured and not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
For DIY projects, you know the Home Depot is always in your corner. Now with our mobile app, it can also be in the palm of your hand with digital tools like image search. Snap a picture of something. It'll recognize it and serve up product suggestions in seconds. And our product locator will check availability and lead you right to it. The Home Depot mobile app. Download it today to get started. Only from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Everyone loves shopping online. Well, I'm going to tell you what I tell my golf buddies when they buy clubs. Stop searching for coupon codes. Download Capital One Shopping to your computer. Capital One Shopping instantly searches for available coupon codes and automatically applies them at checkout. Plus, it's free, and you don't even need a Capital One card to use it. That's like hitting a hole in one without even trying. Capital One Shopping. It's kind of genius. What's in your wallet?
Savings and available coupons vary.
Down for the Count is your home for all things wrestling, including WWE, NXT, and AEW, with interviews of all the best wrestlers to grace the squared circle. ESPN San Antonio presents Down for the Count every Thursday at 7 after the Blitz. Hosted by Brendan Medina and Dan Cialana. The best damn wrestling show is here. And that's the bottom line, because Down for the Count said so. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Hi, this is Desmond Howard. You're listening to San Antonio Sports Leader, 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Where the pros play. KZDC San Antonio. Jason Minix, Rob Thompson, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz. You're on ESPN San Antonio. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. If you want to watch us live, you can go to ESPNSA.com. Go to our Facebook feed. If you were here earlier, you saw Demarcus Ware. We're chasing RG3. Today was the press conference, the introduction. We get to know David Culley. Nick Casario introduced him. Glowing reviews, of course. And, by everybody who knows David Culley, Jason, it seems like a leader of men has come to the Houston Texans with a little bit of offensive flavor, with a little bit of offensive touch, but never really a coordinator of any sort, but more of just a coach's coach.
You're right. But, it's kind of, I don't know. I mean, the get a head coaching job without having been a coordinator seems a little surprising, but he's been around the league forever. And if it's more of the CEO style, and we know, Lovie Smith, former head coach, is going to be his defensive coordinator. Tim Kelly stays as the offensive coordinator. There is certainly that. Can he be that guy to help mend fences in the locker room? I mean, one of the first things he said is, I totally expect Deshaun Watson to be my quarterback. That's why I'm here. So can he go mend those fences?
But he is stepping into a minefield, the likes of which few coaches have ever walked. As we look at the disparity from what they're saying to what we're hearing from the Deshaun Watson camp, it doesn't seem to be a mendable fence, though Casario and Culley both think that there's an opportunity to get it done. The idea that Culley took this job knowing full well that, Deshaun was going to do one thing or the other, I find very interesting. And I also am concerned that he took a job knowing full well that, in 3 years, his usefulness will be gone as they rebuild and retool this team.
Well, and again, I mean, it's because, you get a guy that's 65 years old. He's not part of the 10-year plan, you wouldn't expect. But, what I do appreciate, I don't know anything about David Culley, but his energy, everything he said, he had all those leadership qualities. My goodness, when you think about Dan Campbell's opening press conference or the thing we saw in Philadelphia with their new head coach, at least the Houston Texans felt like they had a head coach sitting at the podium today.
It's hard to kind of quantify the situation he's in, because by every measure, apart from the one we have to use, it looks like a pretty decent retooling of the coaching staff. You wonder what he's like and how he deals with a quarterback. Well, let's find out. I'd like to welcome on the show RG3, Pro Bowler, Heisman Trophy winner, and now David Culley expert. Welcome on the show, RG3. Robert, glad to have you, man. Thanks for taking some time.
Hey, no problem. Yeah, it does look like I'm the David Culley expert, huh?
Well, I mean, it's interesting. We're sitting there going, all right, well, we don't know much about David Culley. And our producer, James Pledger, says, well, who do we know with Baltimore? And he says, well, Jason, call your Copper's Cove alumni, buddy, or Robert Griffin III, and let's get him on, because you know what? You get that connection, and it brings Texas full circle. So when you think about David Culley becoming a head coach at the age of 65, you've gotten to know him the last couple of years with your time there with the Baltimore Ravens. Did you look at him in meetings and go, why hasn't this guy been a head coach before?
Yeah, I mean, I think, as a player, when you see a coach, who's 65 and has done as much as Culley's done, over the course of his career, worked with so many different great organizations, so many great head coaches. You can't help but think like, okay, well, what's next for everything that he has done? But I think the resounding thing that you're hearing about Culley over the past couple of days is he's well respected around the league. He's well respected by the coaches that have worked with him, and he does a good job of connecting with players. It just so happens that I guess inside league circles, people know more about Culley than people outside league circles know. And I think that's always the catch-22 when it comes to hiring a head coach. Some people want to, fans, they want to know who the guy is, but in this case, they really don't know. And I think that's to Culley's benefit because he can go out and, write his own story and introduce himself to the world.
Robert Griffin joining us here on ESPN San Antonio, looking toward David Culley and catching up with a Texas legend here on ESPN San Antonio. You talked about that connection, and given the circumstances that we see the Houston Texans in, and we don't know Desean's mind, we hear other things. I certainly don't expect you to know, but if you were estranged and David Culley was a guy that was going to come and talk to you and bring you back in the fold, or at least make you feel better, does he have that kind of tools and that kind of gravitas to do such a thing?
Yeah, the thing about it is I don't know. Let's just put it out there. I have no idea what Deshaun Watson is thinking. I honestly have no idea what David Culley is thinking. I just know that based off of the press conference he had today, that the Texans are still committed to Deshaun, and Culley is committed to being able to have an opportunity to coach him. And I think if there was anybody out there that could bridge that gap, it's a guy like David Culley. Not many people know this, but he was the first black quarterback at Vanderbilt. And he's dealt with a lot of the things that we as African-American quarterbacks have to deal with on a consistent basis, even today in 2021. So I think if he sat down with Deshaun and had a conversation with him, I'm sure he could convince him that, this is the team that he wants to be on, and that he's going to go forth and create a culture and an environment that's going to help Deshaun thrive. But at the end of the day, that's up to Deshaun Watson, and he has to make a decision for him, a business decision to say, where does he want to be for the rest of his career, or where does he want his next place to be in his career? And, only he knows that. I don't have any insight on that, and I don't know which way he should go. I think he just has to trust his heart. But if he gives Culley an opportunity, I'm more than sure Culley can convince him. He's a great talker. He connects with players. And as you saw in his press conference, he said he's committed to being the coach of the Texans, and that Deshaun Watson is the backbone of the Texans. So, I think they made it pretty clear what their intentions are. It's just a matter of what does Desean do from here.
Robert, put us in the player's perspective, and put us in the star quarterback's perspective. And I don't, because obviously it's a power play right now for Desean if he is truly trying to force his way out. But you get a new head coach. How much does the quarterback, in most cases, have, like the things that we've all heard, and you've heard them just like we have, he wanted to be a part of the process of hiring the GM or the coach, and at least felt like the owner was listening. How much do players really have a say in that kind of stuff when it comes to decisions like that and talking with an owner of a franchise?
This might, it might sound, shocking to everyone, but we have absolutely no control. At the end of the day, we have absolutely no control. So whenever I heard, and I'm sure a lot of players heard about, the Texans saying they were going to involve Desean in that process, you're not taken aback by that. You're like, okay, that's awesome. You got this guy who's played great for your franchise. He's been great for your community, and you want to involve him in the coaching hiring process. And I think Deshaun's, from what I can collect, just what you see on the outside, the issue is they told him that they were going to involve him, and then they didn't. So I think that's different. When I was in Washington and I was going into my third year and we were going after a new coach, we ended up getting, Jay Gruden. And, I would have loved to have been more a part of that process and the head coaching hiring process. But at the end of the day, you don't have any control over that. You go to work. You get coached by the coaches that are hired, and you do the best you possibly can for that city to win games. And I just think that they told him something, and in his mind and in his heart, he just felt like it wasn't honored. But I don't know, because I don't know the insides and outs of it all.
Was it ridiculous to even think he would be considered considering the circumstances that you just mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, I understand that narrative of, the players shouldn't expect anything. And I don't know. Like, I don't know what the talks were, but the way that it's been presented was as if he was told he would be involved and then he wasn't involved. And I think that's a different story. If I was just to go up there and be like, hey, guys, who are we hiring? They'd probably all look at me sideways and be like, what's going on? You're a player. Do what players do. Go out and play. But as you've seen the guys like Andre Johnson and Arian Foster, who've been a part of that organization, they've come out and spoke out and said, the time of just shut up and play is over. And I think players are understanding how much leverage and how much pull they have, and they're trying to exercise that a little bit more in some of these processes that have typically excluded players. So, I don't know what else to say about that other than, kudos to Desean. If they told him something and he's holding his ground, then, you got to respect that.
It's interesting because teams rarely show loyalty to the players, right? I mean, every NFL player, or not every, but most tend to, get cut at some point. Something goes on and, your contract isn't fully guaranteed and they'll cut you with no problem. It's interesting when you don't see that, when you see the player going, hey, man, I know what could happen to me at some point. So, this is the play I'm going to move to go somewhere where I'm happy. It is a definite shift. If Desean is able to get out of Houston and get where he wants to go, having that no trade clause, so he gets to decide where he's going to end up, how much does that change the landscape of the National Football League?
Yeah, I think it changes the landscape a lot. I think that typically, NFL players, every year we have this process of when we see the NBA go into free agency or we see these NBA players pretty much, running the system and getting to go wherever they want, no matter what their contract says. You see NFL players come out publicly and talk about it and, say, like, why can't we have that type of leverage in the NFL, that type of power in the NFL? Well, it's situations like this. And this situation could go, a lot of different ways. But if Desean ends up getting out of Houston as he's requested a trade, it shifts the dynamic. And I can tell you right now, every GM in the league, every owner in the league, they don't want that, right? They don't want the players to feel, not even to feel empowered, but they don't want the players to have that type of power to kind of decide where they're going to go. They want you to honor your contract. And as you said, typically players show a lot of loyalty to the teams, but when it comes time, the team doesn't show that same loyalty back. And, some people just say it's the game, right? It's just part of the business. It's just
the business side of football, right?
Yeah, it's just the business side of football. Don't take it personal. But I can tell you right now, every player takes it personal, even if they say they don't. It's,
absolutely, as they should.
It's your livelihood. So I think in this situation, I don't know what happened. I don't know why it's happening this way. But if Desean wants out of Houston, he's going to have to hold his ground because as you heard today, the Texans are going to hold their ground, and it's going to get interesting.
He is Robert Griffin III joining us here on ESPN San Antonio, Heisman Trophy winner, Pro Bowler. And how you feeling today, Robert? I know last we saw you're on injured reserve and now looking maybe for another gig. You ready to strap him on and play another year? What are your options out there? What are you thinking?
Yeah, man, I'm ready to go.
Let's do it.
I'm excited. I'm 30 years old. I feel healthy. This past year playing the Kobe game against the Steelers just didn't go the way that I wanted to go, obviously, and I ended up on injured reserve. But that's football. It's a dangerous sport. You go out there, you put yourself on the line every time you go out and play. But I'm ready to roll. I know at this point in my career, I'm either looking at going in and competing to be a starter somewhere or going in and solidifying a backup position. And whenever my number's called, if somebody wants to bring me in, I feel like I got a lot of magic left in this body, give a lot to an organization, just like I have over the last 3 years in Baltimore. But for me, I love the game. I love the camaraderie, being in the locker room with the guys, going out, play a game at a high level and trying to win the Super Bowl every single year. So, if Houston called me, I'd pick up.
Well, that's what we were headed toward, man.
I was about to say that, man. I mean, Culley, apparently Josh McCown went from interviewing for the head coaching job to maybe, I don't know, someplace on the staff. They'll need a backup quarterback and, get you back in the great state of Texas or, whether it's Houston or even Dallas. I don't know if Andy Dalton will be back to back up Dak next year.
Right. It's I know David Culley, and I've said this on the airwaves the past couple of days. 2 years ago when we played the Steelers in the last game of the year, he was very supportive of me. He was the guy that came to me and hugged on me and congratulated me when things went our way and we won that game. And then this year, when in the COVID game, when things didn't go our way and I got hurt, he was one of the first guys to come talk to me and hug on me and express his support for me. So. Culley could bring me home. I could go to Houston, I could go to Dallas, I could go to a number of places. But at the end of the day, whatever the situation is, whatever the opportunity is, I just want to go out and compete, have fun, and be an addition to a team and play this game. So, yeah.
Robert, we're rooting for you, man. We're rooting for you. We need you on the sidelines. The NFL is better for that. Robert Griffin III here on the Blitz. Man, we want to thank you for taking some time out. I think we're getting a fuller picture of David Culley, and maybe those Texans fans might start feeling a little bit better about this head coaching hire as they head into some troubled waters. Robert, you take care of yourself. Stay safe, man. We look forward to talking to you soon, face to face.
All right, guys. God bless. Peace out. Appreciate you. Robert
Griffin III. Last time I saw him live, remember that Alamo Dome game? What was that, 2011, where the final score was like 198 when Washington showed up? That was like a 5-hour excitement game.
That was incredible when he played here in the Valero Alamo Bowl. I thought you were going to go back to when he was with Copper's Cove and lost to Alamo Heights in the state championship game. But the last time we saw him live in person was at Radio Row in Minneapolis when it was like 9 degrees outside.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's not nearly as cold today as he probably is sitting in some warmer climes. It's always a pleasure to catch up with RG3. Hey, coming back, Jimmy Johnson joined Stephen A. today for a very interesting conversation and, in fact, told a story I don't think you might have known. The story of Troy Aikman and Steve Walsh kind of mirrors, maybe just a little, what's going on with the Houston Texans. We'll talk some Spurs, and RJ Ochoa's coming, so you want to be where you are. That's the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. You ever hurt yourself while you're patting yourself on the back for a great show you're presenting and all the great guests? If you're dealing with an everyday kind of pain that you cannot shake for self-congratulation, I'm what you call my friends that are Rusty. Seriously, if you're dealing with a soft tissue injury, if you're dealing with those strains and sprains that just seem to lag and linger and will not let you get back in the game, you can get it fixed in a remarkably short amount of time. See, that's what a Rusty provides you. These are passionate healthcare providers that are there to get you out of pain in a remarkably short amount of time. They did a study, in fact, under 4 visits will get you back in the game. Now, Rosti providers, they're all around San Antonio. Too many to name. And I want you to go to their website, Rosti.com. There you'll see a list. I'm sure there's one less than 10 minutes from where you are right now. Here's the number if you want to call and make your appointment, but just make sure you make that appointment. It's 1-800-404-6050. You walk into an Rosti provider. You will have not needed a referral. Just go ahead and make that call, and they're going to accept most insurances. I'm talking non-invasive, no over-the-counter or prescribed medication. This isn't about surgery. This is about your body being manipulated, taken care of in a non-invasive way to get you healthy again. I am a believer and a testifier. Rosti works. If you're in pain, call 1-800-404-6050. Do not let pain keep you from doing things that you love. Get yourself back in the game. Call an Rosti provider today, and in under 4 visits, I'm sure you're going to thank me later.
Sundays are for the grill. The Sunday Sports Grill, 11 in the morning to 1. Chop it up and grill with former and current Rock the Mic champs Michael Jimenez and Quinn Hudson. The Sunday Sports Grill, 11 to 1 every Sunday.
This football season, more than any other, we're all reflecting on the wonder years of football. And in celebrating the heart of America's favorite sport, we've got a bold snack that'll help rekindle some really great memories. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have the bold flavors you crave, like Korean kimchi barbecue, pasilla chili cheese, spicy dill, and more. Get them at H-E-B. Because, hey, pigskins and pigskins, they go together. Visit porkrinds.com to see how you can win $5,000 when you celebrate Pork Rind Appreciation Day with Southern Recipe Small Batch.
Take your romance game to a whole new level this Valentine's with Diamonds Direct's most popular offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase happening right now. You know jewelry is the perfect gift to celebrate your love. And with this incredible offer, you can afford to go big.
like a $6,000 diamond tennis bracelet, just $100 a month, or a $3,000 pair of diamond earrings, just $50 a month. Diamonds Direct has teamed up with the world's top jewelry designers for an expanded selection of Valentine's surprises for any budget. Romantic gifts starting as low as $400. Rings, earrings, pendants, bands, colored gemstones, the guaranteed largest selection, highest quality, and always the best value. Whether you shop in store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Make this the most memorable Valentine's ever with 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase, including engagement rings, now through Valentine's Day. Celebrate your love at Diamonds Direct.
At the shops at La Cantera.
Shane Gillis is coming to LOL Comedy Club this weekend. Get out and laugh with Shane Gillis, who was recently named an Up Next comic at Comedy Central's 2019 Clusterfest in San Francisco, and a new face at Just for Laughs in Montreal. LOL Comedy Club, where San Antonio laughs out loud. With 6 shows this weekend at LOL Comedy Club, see Shane Gillis and laugh out loud. 1 show on Thursday, 2 shows on Friday and Saturday, and 1 show on Sunday. Get your tickets now at improvtx.com. That's improvtx.com.
I want the house.
What? All the money I spent and you think you should get?
Why shouldn't I? All the sacrifices I made for your precious little business.
That business paid for everything you have.
The business I was never paid to work for?
Oh, don't even go there.
Oh, I'm going there.
Divorce can be ugly, especially for your spouse. Call the Calfis Law Group today. Prepare yourself before they do. 212-6969. That's 212-6969. The Calfis Law Group, the group that specializes in divorce.
Hindsight is 2020, and 2020 was a brutal year that for most of it felt out of control. But you know how you can be in control? You can be in control of your job, your career. Yes. In 2020, my computer career helped more people start IT careers than ever. Don't look back with 2020 hindsight next year and see yourself in that 2020 job. Take control. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
With no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, banking with Capital One is like the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. And with our top-rated app, you can bank anytime, anywhere, making Capital One an even easier decision.
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
New consumer accounts only. Approval required. Terms apply. Capital One NA member FDIC.
It is the Blitz. Blitz is brought to you by the Thompson Law Firm. Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com, St. Mary's Law School grad, San Antonian through and through. You've been in an auto collision? Call Jason Thompson. He will be your attorney, not someone else. You talk with Jason, he represents you. 210-900-0400. And lawyerforus.com is his website. Call him as soon as possible if you've been in an auto collision. Now, Jimmy Johnson is not one to do a whole lot of interviews. And to sit down with Stephen A. Smith, I thought was a pretty good get for Stephen A., considering his history with the Dallas Cowboys and his ongoing hatred of the team, though his adoration for Jerry Jones, I've always found a little odd. And he had Jimmy on what was this, on First Take today?
Yeah, it was on First Take, and obviously it was promoted. And while I didn't pull this part of the audio, he gave Stephen A. credit for doing the How About Them Cowboys better than he does, and blames the lack of Super Bowls on the Stephen A. curse, which I think Stephen A. took as a compliment.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he absolutely did. But the insight that Jimmy has as a former head coach dealing with egos is always worth listening to. And he looks at the situation as that with Deshaun Watson as something that can be fixed if you do it the right way and do it sooner than later, because he's had to deal with those big kind of quarterback egos in the past. And whether you were straightforward or not, at some point you got to build a connection, and that's the next thing that Culley's got to do, right?
Well, that's it. And again, I mean, David Culley took that job, and he said as much today, thinking and knowing that Deshaun Watson is still going to be the quarterback, and Jimmy Johnson says he needs to do everything he can to make that happen.
I think the best fit for Deshaun Watson is, if I was David Culley, I'd go knock on his door, and I'd say, Deshaun, let's have us a Michelob Ultra. And I would talk to him, and I'd do whatever it takes. I'd put my ego aside, and I'd say, hey, the best thing for you is to stay right here, make concessions, do whatever it takes. do not lose that player. As far as trades, it's so difficult with the salary cap, with the contracts. Really what you got to do compensation-wise to make trades. But with Deshaun Watson, David Culley needs to try to keep him there, try to talk him out of it. That's the best thing going right now.
And that sounds easier said than done. And part of it is there's a disrespect feeling that Deshaun Watson feels with this organization. And, it's interesting because Jimmy Johnson said, dude, if you've got to fire Jack Easterby to make Deshaun happy, fire Jack Easterby.
Well, I don't think it was right. I think they upset him, and it would have upset me by, trading Hopkins. Here you've got a great receiver. That's one thing. The other thing is, evidently, there's some people around there that he doesn't like. Well, if he didn't like them, other than the owner, I'd get rid of them. Because they're not near as important as Watson. Do whatever it takes. Make concessions. Keep that quarterback.
Fire Jack Easterby.
Well, they might have been talking today, as Cal McNair didn't even really hang out at his David Culley's introductory press conference today. I think Jimmy is. I think he's right. I think that you got to go knock on the door and build that connection. And one of the things that strikes me that we can reflect on what Robert Griffin III just told us, who played with David Culley or played for David Culley up there with the Ravens, that Culley was the first African American quarterback at Vanderbilt down in the in the Deep South way back when. So certainly he is one of those guys that the front runners in a movement that I do believe that Deshaun Watson very much wants to be a part of and is a face of an African-American understanding and movement inside the NFL. And I think that the McNair and Caserio have done their best efforts to rebuild this administration to focus on things like that. And if Deshaun is truly, I think in their minds, they're thinking, Deshaun, if you're truly going to walk the walk with your talk, you want to play for a guy like David Culley. You want to play on a team that has Lovie Smith as a defensive coordinator. You want to stay here in Houston, a city with all three major league teams have African-American coaches or general managers. This is a city that's progressive in part of what you want to do. Let me help you. Let's forget about the past. Everything that happened before Caserio erased, because that's the past. I think it can be done, but this is an awful lot to ask right now, considering how much water has, basically gone under the bridge.
And there's some things that just you and I don't connect with. Bart Scott today on ESPN Radio, middays here on 94.5 FM. Bart's got to be on the show next week, by the way.
Yep.
But Bart Scott said, I came from the same kind of area that Deshaun came from. And when you are from one of those kind of neighborhoods, the one thing you can't do is disrespect me. That the disrespect and how you take being disrespected just stays with you. Bart Scott said, other people might say, get over it, man. Have a conversation. There are certain things that you just cannot do and cannot get over as a man, and that is you cannot disrespect me. And that's, from an environment that, a lot of us don't quite relate to. But you look at a David Culley, and again, if he wanted an Eric Bieniemy, most Texans fans wanted an Eric Bieniemy. And I kind of look at this hire and what we've learned about David Culley since his name has surfaced as a legitimate candidate, even talking to RG3. Let's go back to the draft a couple of years ago when Jerry Jones had to get held up against the wall by Stephen Jones on drafting Johnny Manziel, and let's go get Zach Martin. Is Eric Bieniemy the shiny object, the fun, the sexy, the let's go sell a lot of tickets, Johnny Manziel? And could David Culley actually be the Zach Martin kind of hire? The mainstay, the cornerstone, the best player. Everything you hear about David Culley says he's probably the right guy, but almost like Nick Caserio. But Texans fans can't get over it. And part of that is because Deshaun Watson is leading the way in negativity towards this guy. You wonder if they can get together and bridge fences. Talking to RG3, sounds like David Culley certainly has that personality. And why Cal McNair is so steadfast in Jack Easterby, is beyond me, because even Jimmy Johnson says, fire the dude. I mean, if you got to get rid of somebody, you don't get rid of your quarterback, especially for a guy that doesn't do anything on your football field to help you win games.
In talking with Robert Griffin, who was just on, it'll be in our audio vault, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds Post Haste. You want to make sure you catch up with RG3. The connection you talked about being hugged up, and the relationship that Culley built with his quarterback, and obviously has with many other guys, because as Robert told us, he has huge respect around the league. Anybody who knows him is not surprised in the least that he has a head coaching job. They're not fans; they're in the building. So let's get over the fact that he's unheard of. He's not. The players know who he was, or at least those that traveled in his orbit. But the idea of building that connection, I think, is all that they have to fall back on now, right? I mean, it appears that McNair, not by word, but by action, did kind of, certainly there's those kind of guys. And we know that Jack Easterby has talked about, we have to have the right kind of guy. And there, there's that we heard from the beginning of the job search. They put together a coaching foundation, African-American men, well-respected in just about every situation. I mean, from Pep Hamilton to Lovey to Culley, all these guys, great long-term respected types. It seems like the perfect landing spot for Desean. It seems like they did what they said, though the disrespect factor, they're not going to be able to get over. But Robert did give you something further with that, in that, most players don't expect to have much say. And for you to even think that you would, maybe you went a little far with that anyway.
Maybe, but again, I mean, you're watching the NBA players and the power that they have, and NFL players saying, why not us? And again, every NBA free agency, and I remember it was J.J. Watt most recently tweeting out something like, man, I wish I could play basketball, when he sees some of these contracts. Dude, you got $100 million and you're jealous of the basketball guy, right? I mean, so I could certainly see where, hey, man, why not us? Why not force ourselves into a situation? If Deshaun Watson is saying, you know what, I'm mad at the organization, we're not going to win anyway, and I want to go chase Super Bowls. I want to go somewhere where I can battle with Patrick Mahomes every year on the right to who's going to be there. Okay, what do I need to do to get Mark Manning Brady to be Watson Mahomes? Is it going to be in Houston? Maybe he's just looked at that roster and said, why waste my time here? J.J. Watt walking off the field. Sorry, we wasted a year. You only get so many of them in the NFL. Maybe it has nothing to do with the coach, but the overall roster, the situation the Texans are in, and no matter who you bring in, I ain't going to win here. I want out.
I think at the end of the day, Jason, you find the most logical answer to complex problems, and this is it. He looked at this team and said, I don't want to be Warren Moon. I don't want to be Phillip Rivers. I don't want to be that guy that threw for 1,000,000 yards and almost, but there was always something. I want to go someplace where I feel like I am trusted, loved, and truly have an opportunity to go win a Super Bowl. Because if I don't, then I become Warren Moon, a well-respected guy, but always talked about after the other guys. There's those guys, and then there's Warren. We love him, but he never really quite did it.
And maybe ultimately that's the bottom line. But, it's interesting when you think about an unhappy player and how you mend fences. And talking to RG3, you don't know. And you kind of hope you find out. You hope they're not lying to you. But Jimmy Johnson on the air on First Take this morning talked about a story with Troy Aikman. Now, I don't remember this happening. I don't know that I've heard this story before. It certainly didn't ring any bells if it's been out there, but I thought it was kind of good new information. And he tells a story about, drafting another quarterback, and Troy wasn't happy about it. And what surprises me is apparently through this entire season, he never went to Troy and said, you're my guy, privately. I mean, it's one thing what you say to the media, but you would think, in one of the meeting rooms, you tell a guy, hey, this is what we're doing. But Jimmy Johnson never did that with Troy Aikman, and it caused some issues in their relationship very early on and how they repaired it.
They're not going to win any games if they don't have a quarterback. And I had a little similar situation when I had Steve Walsh and Troy Aikman. Troy wasn't real happy that I drafted Steve Walsh, my quarterback from Miami, but I drafted Steve Walsh for one reason, to trade him to get some picks. I got a 1, 2, and a 3 for him. But that first year, I had to walk a tightrope between the two. I couldn't, say, hey, Troy Aikman's my guy, because I didn't want to diminish the trade value for Walsh. But after Walsh was traded, then I go to Troy's house and I knock on his door, and he had mentioned he kind of liked the tropical fish tanks. I said, hey, let's have us a cold beverage and let's spend some time together. Let's set up your tropical fish tank. We went out and spent the entire day together. We were looking around for tropical fish. I set up a tank in his house and we bonded, and so you got to do whatever it takes to keep that quarterback. They're hard to find.
And that's it. I don't remember that story, and I can't believe he never told Troy behind closed doors, hey, what I'm saying in the media is this, and this is why. He made him think privately that was what was going on. Franchises are never honest completely with players.
Well, I heard that, and I thought, well, no coach is going to tell you you're safe. Your job's good, man. Troy hadn't been there very long, and I remember Walsh was that supplemental draft. It doesn't matter. Your whole life as an athlete, no one ever tells you, "No, I'd never a quarterback. I'd never grade a guy like that," so I wouldn't know. But even junior high guys, there's always a guy behind you that wants to take your job, and no coach, no matter how good you are, is going to say, "No matter what happens, man, you're good." I think it wasn't so much an oversight. I think it was more like, that's how you do things on a football team. I'm not going to tell you you're good and everything's going to be fine. I'm going to trade him away. I want you to be worried. I want you up nights worried that Steve Walsh, that supplemental pick, is going to take your job. And anybody on the outside looking in knew that wasn't the case. I mean, we all knew it. I guess maybe Troy.
Troy
in a way to keep and it's a way to keep yourself motivated. But maybe Culley, go get some fish, get a couple goldfish, some koi, take a bucket over, and maybe sit down, talk, and get Desean happy, and everything will be fine. All you got to do is talk exotic fish, right?
That's it. I mean, that's what the playbook says.
Worked for Jimmy several rings later. Yeah, it can absolutely get done. Hey, coming back, the San Antonio Spurs have the Denver Nuggets. They're neck and neck in that Western Conference race, and the Joker is coming and bringing a triple-double with him. It's going to be a tough one tonight. We'll talk about it next here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. It is Friday at 5:36 in the blessed PM. You better be heading over to Twin Peaks because the party is happening right now. It is Twin Peaks happy hour, and they do it the best way. Twin Peaks is honoring the pursuit of brews and barrel-aged bourbon every Friday today with their Bourbon and Brews party. Get over to Twin Peaks right now between now and 7 o'clock and celebrate the right way. A lingerie costume party paired with exceptional bourbons, tastings of the very best. And we're not just talking small batch. We're talking the very best bourbons in the world that are sitting waiting for you on Twin Peaks. Tomorrow, the fights will be on, and the big game will be there next Sunday. There is no better place to be than a man cave the likes of Twin Peaks. And when you go celebrate a big game, you go to a big place like Twin Peaks. They'll bring you big beers and big food, and brought to you by fantastic service. Head over and get yourself a cold drink, 29-degree cold beer, barrel-aged bourbons, and all the fun you can stand. Twin Peaks is having a happy hour right now. The fights are on tomorrow, and there's no better place to watch the big game. Twin Peaks, their eats, their drinks, and why do we go? Well, it's those scenic views.
Show us your meat. On the grill. Take a picture and upload it to ESPNSA.com, and you could win a $50 gift card from Tri-County Meat Market if you do. Grilling with the Blitz every Thursday.
What's in store this week at Staples?
Printing you new signs for the times.
Get back to business with custom printed signs and sales materials. Staples has hundreds of designs to choose from, or just upload your own.
And now at Staples, get 25% off custom flyers, brochures, postcards, or labels when you spend $70 or more.
Some items printed same day when ordered before 2 p.m.
Save big on custom printing at Staples. Ends 2/27. Exclusions apply. Limit one offer per customer. See store associate or visit staples.com/custom prints for details.
Start the year off right. Don't miss Lowe's Just for Pros event, now through January 29th. The savings add up fast when you get deals on your go-to brands like HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams. During our Just for Pros event, get 25% off 5-gallon pails of HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Showcase. You can also take advantage of special offers and other savings opportunities to help keep your business moving. Shop in store or on LowesForPros.com and choose pickup. Lowe's, the new home for pros. Offer valid through 1/29, U.S. only.
We have finally turned the calendar into a new year, but if you still are rolling on those old brakes, you need to get them fixed. Jason Minnick's here for New Brakes, nubrakes.com. New Brakes is a mobile brake shop. That means they will come to you to fix your brakes. New Brakes is made getting your brakes repaired easy, convenient, and affordable because they will come to you. They'll come to your home, they'll come to your office, and fix your brakes while you continue to live your life. Most repairs are done in less than an hour. New Brakes only uses premium brake parts, and they back all repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. Go read all the 5-star reviews at nubrakes.com. If you know your brakes are bad or you think they're going bad, do us all a favor and get them fixed. Schedule your appointment now at nubrakes.com, nubrakes.com. Save 10% when you mention my name or ESPN San Antonio. Go to nubrakes.com right now, nubrakes.com.
My name is Kate Courtney, and this is my new show, Can You Survive This Podcast? I'll be drawing on my years as a former Navy SEAL platoon commander, sniper, and CIA contractor. This show is designed to teach you techniques that will increase your chances of survival if you happen to find yourself or your family in any life-threatening disaster scenario imaginable. Subscribe and listen for free on Apple Podcasts. Can you survive this podcast?
It's time for some straight talk. Look, we all drop our phones. It happens. You fumble it, crack it, splash it. Well, Straight Talk Wireless now offers this new Platinum Unlimited plan that includes phone protection. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, plus 20 gigs of hotspot, 100 gigs of cloud storage, and more. All on the best network. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Asurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of Super Bowl 55, is bringing back their golden ticket giveaway with up to $55 million in prizes up for grabs. All you have to do is enter DraftKings' free Super Bowl prediction challenge. Once you submit your picks, you'll get a free instant prize up to $25,000. Download the DraftKings app now and use code BART. That's code BART. Only at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of Super Bowl 55. Terms, conditions, and eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
It is the Blitz. Blitz brought to you by the Thompson Law Firm. Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com is his website. Number 210-900-0400. Available 24 hours a day. If you've been in an auto collision, reach out to Jason as soon as possible. He'll take care of you and the insurance companies. Make sure you get every bit allowed to you by law. The Spurs are welcoming the Denver Nuggets tonight into the friendly confines of the AT&T Center. It's a Sega Baba, Jason. It's a Sega Baba kind of day. It's the second of a back-to-back. Sega Baba.
Okay.
We're playing.
Are we making up words now?
Well, it's not a word. It's an acronym, as I've been told. Sega Baba. Second in a back-to-back. No, sure. Jokic and the Denver Nuggets are hot. Boston thought they were hot. They were starting to round themselves into form. When you see what the Denver Nuggets have done over the last 5 games, Jokic is now averaging a triple-double. I don't see any reason to think that he won't for the entire season. He is the quintessential point non-guard. Big man with deep ball instincts, passes and moves the ball well. The good news is he's not very athletic. He's not going to wow you with his athletic stamina. He ain't going to jump over you or anything like that. And that's really been the bugaboo for the Spurs is the highly athletic posts give LaMarcus and Jakob Poeltl a lot of trouble. I don't know why. Maybe it's because neither one can clear a phone book. But this is good news. These guys don't defend well. The Nuggets do have a bit of a donut kind of defense, so the Spurs might be able to capitalize on that hollow defensive front from the Nuggets and maybe get some points in the paint, which they haven't been very good at, but we saw a lot of against the Celtics.
Well, I think what you do is you put on the tape and you from the Boston game, you say, okay, go turn the ball over 20 times, miss some free throws, and go win the game. I don't know what to expect from this Spurs team. You're right. Denver's good. Do I expect to win tonight? No, I didn't expect them to beat Boston, and that was an ugly game but like you said, you take away the mistakes, they beat Boston by 20. But there are some things in there where I felt like Boston could have won that game by 20. This Spurs team, and it keeps it interesting, I don't know what to expect from them. Derek White, is he going to get into the game tonight? And you talk about the first of two back-to-backs. You got Memphis the next day. It does appear Memphis is going to play this game. They did get on the plane and fly to San Antonio. They haven't played in 5 because of the COVID. So you look at it and go, okay, there will be a game, because part of me was thinking yesterday, do we really plan on back-to-back? Or do you put it all in on this one game against Denver and not try to coach it or think about minutes, knowing that you've got 2 games back-to-back? And how does that really affect Derek White? Because I don't expect Derek to play in both games coming off the injury.
They're a deep team. The Spurs also run awfully deep, and with Derek White, that bench just got a little bit deeper. The Denver Nuggets coming into San Antonio tonight, taking on the San Antonio Spurs at 6:30. Mellow Mushroom will bring to you Game Night San Antonio. Jill Jelnick of Sports Tonight will join us as we prep you for the game. Coming back, let's talk with R.J. Ochoa of Blogging the Boys for his weekly Hang Where You Are on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. You might have some weekend plans, and I promise you none of you are planning on getting arrested, but some of you will. Maybe it's not you, but it's a phone call from a family member, a friend. They need help getting out of jail fast. The best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You can even start the bonding process there online. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail. And you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you really understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. And trust me, there's a lot of conditions there. Your best option, AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7. Offices all over San Antonio and Texas. Services nationwide. If you're down in Corpus, in the Valley, up in Dallas, anywhere in between, AA Best Bail Bonds. License number 149. Call 210-225-2121. 225-2121 or online at mybestbailbonds.com.
The ESPN San Antonio 10K Payday. This hour's winning word is
trophy.
Enter that word now at ESPNSA.com. Another reason it pays to listen to ESPN San Antonio all day, every day.
Great cash, homie.
Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar is open and practicing strict social distancing guidelines. Come eat, drink, and enjoy safely at all 4 Slackers locations. And get over to the newest location, Slackers Medical Center, now opening at 7 a.m. to serve our valued medical community.
Pros bring something extra to every job. Now at the Home Depot, they also get something extra. Pro Extra, our free loyalty program built for pros just like you. Members earn perks with every dollar spent, like Pro Extra dollars, a tool rental credit, and more. New members get $20 off their next in-store purchase of $200 or more just for signing up. Learn more at homedepot.com/Pro Extra. New year, more rewards, Pro Extra, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app. Discover and enjoy your favorite music, news, and talk radio from live stations across the country. Listen anywhere on all mobile and home devices with the radio.com app.
In San Antonio, we have some of the hardest water in the country. Now, if your water has a bad taste or odd smell, you need to call Alamo Water Softeners. Jason Minix here. I've had a water softener in my home from Alamo Water Softeners for years. Wouldn't live without one. If you are already an Alamo Water Softeners customer, take advantage of their New Year's special. Trade in or up on select systems and get up to a $400 credit. Discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference at alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
Guys, waking up over and over to pee is not okay. But now you can reduce those nighttime bathroom trips with the ingredients in Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced. We're talking about less urges to pee at night, less bathroom trips during the day, and better bladder emptying.
It's like taking 3 prostate supplements in one.
You can try a full 30-day bottle of P3 Advanced, free. Just cover shipping and handling, and a free bottle will be conveniently shipped to your door. No strings attached and no commitments to buy. Call 1-800-491-5123. Super Beta Prostate is the best-selling brand in major retailers like Walmart. But for this no-strings-attached free bottle, you must call now. Call 1-800-491-5123.
Agents are standing by to take your call for this unprecedented free offer. Call 1-800-491-5123. 1-800-491-5123.
It is the Blitz. Happy Friday to you. Thanks for joining us here at ESPN San Antonio. Socially dispersed as always. He's Jason Lennox. I'm Rob Thompson. James Pledger taking us to 7. Hey, we got a big football game tomorrow. About 2 o'clock, you need to be dialed in right here to ESPN San Antonio. The San Antonio Sports High School Football All-Star Game will be played in totality tomorrow. 2 o'clock will be the kickoff. Jason will be on the call. Jill Jelnick of Sports Night and Game Night San Antonio will be on the sidelines for restaurant quality radio coverage as we say goodbye to this year's crop of schoolboys as they play their last game. It's going to be a lot of fun. Good weather tomorrow. Going to be a good football day.
It is going to be a good football. It's been a great show today. I mean, we've had Demarcus Ware on. We've had RG3 on. Now we have RJ Ochoa joining us here on the Blitz.
The human victory cigar. That is RJ Ochoa.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Looks like Rob just came in off the coast. He's got his Sperry's on underneath, I think. He's going to go take a shower before happy hour starts on a little bit down in the foyer.
Tie the sweater around his waist.
Great. Yeah, exactly. RG3, I remember right before Tony Gonzalez broke your ankle, Jason, you guys trying to wrangle him up in Minnesota. So good times there. Went to a low-level high school, I think. Like, it's got, like, what, 1A now, I think, something like that.
6A, the Coppers Cove Bulldogs, my friend.
With a Z. Bulldogs.
W. But no, it's dogs, DAWGS. They, because when I went to Cove, we sucked when Hal Mummy was our coach. So the only way you could get a W in Coppers Cove is just put it in the name. But RG3 and Peanut Tillman and some of those, they changed things there at Coppers Cove High School.
RJ Ochoa joining us here on ESPN San Antonio for his weekly. He of blogging the boys and all things Dallas Cowboy, rock the mic champ. And, on January the 29th of the last 4 years.
Hold on.
The three of us.
What are you doing, Rob?
I'm playing with my my Spurs medicine ball.
Oh, okay. All right. Good.
I'm working out.
All right. I was very distracted there for a moment. Didn't know what was happening.
My Spurs.
He's all in on the Demarcus Ware workout.
Wasn't sure what was going on, but
we
only get a certain part of your body in the video stream, and I'm just saying.
Yikes. Gotta raise my camera here. RJ, for the last 4 years we have spent time together, and it's been kind of a pleasure to go down memory lane over my Facebook feed, looking at certain nights. And I saw one yesterday, RJ, that I think was quintessential RJ. We were flying into the frozen tundra of Minneapolis a couple years back, and there's a picture taken out a window of the snowy landscape that is as far as you can see in Minneapolis. And RJ puts out there basically that, like, I'm a South Texas from Brownsville, Texas, and looking at this snow, I am terrified as we landed in -3 degrees and spent the next 5 days half frozen up in Minneapolis for what turned out to be one of the better Super Bowls I've been to. We had a lot of fun.
That was a good time. That was the second time, Rob, that you and I have ever been roommates on a trip. The first on the West Coast, certainly at Cowboys training camp. But my most vivid memories are probably from Minneapolis because it was so cold. The Juicy Lucy, who could ever forget? I mentioned Tony Gonzalez and Jason Minnick going head-to-head. Patrick Mahomes showing up the day that Alex Smith got traded. The smallest radio row I've ever seen. And probably more glasses of sweet tea than any of us have ever had. Shout out, of course, to the Chick-fil-A inside of the Mall of America for hooking.
And when you say smallest, as far as the room is concerned, it was the same number of people. They just had us crammed into the food court like sardines, which is insane. And you can't forget the Minnesota Super Bowl. We always try to find a good dive bar. It was called Grumpy's. I had forgotten that until my Facebook memories reminded me. And then, of course, who's the country singer we met? Zach Brown. We were all hanging out with, but we didn't know.
You also met Brad Paisley yourself, and ran his life away.
But we knew Brad. We knew who Brad Paisley was. We're at the cigar party.
I knew who Zach Brown was.
We were talking to that dude for 10 minutes before we knew it was Zach Brown.
Oh, we didn't know it was. I knew who Zach Brown was.
Well,
I just didn't know that was him. I kept thinking this guy looks a lot like Zach Brown. I mean, it's a spitting image. I don't know what he does, but maybe he should start a tribute band. But
yeah.
So
he was hurt.
A few things quickly. Zach Brown, his hand was in a cast, and Jason went to shake it like it was totally fine. It was like, dude, he plays guitar with his hand. But Rob, you mentioned Facebook memories. Mine showed me 2 years ago tonight. The three of us were served duck from Wolfgang Puck. So that was very cool. And you mentioned dive bars as well, Rob. Atlanta, who could ever forget Montana's? Shout out, of course, to Rob Thompson drinking the cider on the first night in that building. We built a family in Montana.
Yes, we did.
I hope they're all doing well.
Yeah, as long as they stay distant, man. I mean, there was some things there. But a year ago, Miami, and that dive bar we found in the 9th floor of some hotel that apparently the NBA people go to. And the best part about that, it had like a 4 a.m. last call, but we pulled up to that. There was some dude that was in a motorcycle wreck out front.
Full-on motorcycle accident out front of the hotel.
I mean, part of them was over there. The other parts were over there. And we were like, where are we going? But it was the Uber ride that we were. It's the one of the crazier Uber experiences. Rob might not remember this because
I remember. I think I got COVID. I think I literally caught COVID from our Uber driver who was drinking the Colombian chai tea or whatever that was in her special glass that she talked me in, or I just took a drink out of a
she didn't talk
Colombian
you into anything.
Uber driver's special tea. I don't know why I got sick. Hindsight, oh my God.
I can tell you that bar is the only time I've ever gone drinking with Rob Thompson where he is the first one to say, shots? Let's do shots. Who's ordering shots? And shots and shots and shots. Normally that's me.
I do want
that
I want to say one more thing. On the subject of Atlanta. In a way that was colder than Minnesota, I feel like, in some sneaky ways. Like it had some sneakier, colder moments.
We had some snow.
Right. But the Atlanta hotel was the least of the establishments, at least that I've stayed at with you guys. And one
the
night,
shadiest of shade hotels. I mean, it wasn't quite Houston. I mean, Houston might have been the worst because we had the hookers down the hall at the Houston hotel.
Well, so the important thing about this is, again, RJ, what do let's do some social stuff. Let's do some Facebook Live, some Instagram Live. So our hotel in Atlanta also doubled as our studio for broadcasting Facebook and Instagram Lives. And we learned that Rob Thompson, his outfit choices down south are a bit shy, to say the least. Or rather, not shy. They're actually rather welcoming to the studio audience.
Well, again, I mean, I think it's leg placement in your camera angles, in a small room, and Rob's needing to always put a leg up.
You got to make room. You know what I mean?
And lean back, like just giving you the perfect angle as the viewer.
RJ, the other day, and again, those of you that watch on the Facebook Live can understand that there's a certain point of the show just about every day where Rob just kind of leans back. And at that point, you kind of go, okay, the focus might be almost, but it's there. Well, we were doing this during show prep, and Rob was leaned back in his chair, and then all of a sudden his leg came flying up. I thought he fell over in his chair. He was checking something with his shoe, but all of a sudden,
stretching out.
Yeah. All of a sudden, he's stretching out. And I was like, at least today he's wearing pants when he's doing that. But the other day, he wasn't. I'm just saying.
RJ Ochoa, Blogging the Boys, joining us. Go ahead.
I want to say one last thing, because I yesterday went back and watched it. I was thinking about Radio Row and how things aren't going to be the same. I'm sure you guys remember, but I would encourage you, maybe make Pledge's job a little bit difficult, to find the audio and play it. In Atlanta, when you guys interviewed the now wildly successful Pat McAfee, and I won't say who, but one of you had no idea who he was at the time. And so anyway, Pat McAfee is telling us how he walked, getting to us and saw George Foreman And I have the video with this, and he's like, I saw George Foreman, and you made a joke, Jason, because he said, I've used that guy's grills. And you're like, no, you didn't. You used it one time. You never used it again. He said, no, man, I loved it. He goes, he's right over there. And you guys go, that's Floyd Mayweather.
I think it was Evander Holyfield, actually.
Oh, sorry. He goes, and he's like, hey, Evander, tell George Foreman I love his grills. Like, it was just so funny.
All right, no, honestly, has anybody used a George Foreman grill more than once? I mean, you use it the first time, you put it away, and you never see it again.
Oh, I re-gifted mine.
It takes 3 days to clean it. That's the thing. Like, it takes forever to clean, and then, that's it. That's the end of it.
You never
All
use it
next
again.
week. All next week, your big game coverage will be brought to you by Dietz Tractor. The four of us, well, we won't be there, but you'll feel like you're there as the cavalcade of guests we're bringing to you all next week on Radio Row coverage. Dispersed is going to be spectacular. RJ, man, thanks for stopping by. We'll be thinking of you all week long, and let's have you back next Thursday. What do you say?
That sounds great to me, and make sure you play Came Upon Me Wave on Wave, because that's the official ESPN San Antonio Radio Row song as far as I'm concerned.
It absolutely is. Zeke Elliott will be joining us as well next week. There we go. I know, and he'll be probably talking some tequila as Zeke, as Emmett always does. I'm sorry, did I say Zeke? As Emmett always does. Hey, we got to take a break and come back. We got a lot to get into here in the 6 o'clock hour.
Yikes.
Demarcus Ware is going to be stepping in to talk to you. You might want to hang where you are. And then Game Night San Antonio very quickly follows, brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. Got the Nuggets on the docket. Hang on tight. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Game nights, the Blitz goes silver and black.
This is Matt Bonner.
Hi, this is DeJounte Murray. It's Game Night San Antonio.
It's Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom. 30 minutes before every game night on the Blitz, we give you an in-depth look at your silver and black. Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom. Spend your game nights with us.
1250
ESPN San Antonio.
And 94.5 FM.
The Kalfas Law Group is here for you. Have you been injured in an automobile accident? Your hopes, dreams, and plans all turned upside down? If you've been injured in a serious accident and you need help, contact the Kalfas Law Group immediately at kalfaslaw.com. That's CALFAS law.com. Answers, results, success. Visit kalfaslaw.com today for a free consultation. That's CALFAS law.com.
Have you wanted to speak a new language, but thought it would be too difficult? Then try Babbel. Babbel starts by teaching you words and phrases that gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations. So in 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking a new language in a few weeks. Babbel is built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to babbel.com today. That's BABBEL.com.
Jason Minnick's here for BSG, the company that brings you the best in home security and smart home technology. The security system in my house is from BSG. The video cameras, video doorbell, and other features are fantastic. Right now, get a free basic smart home security system for as low as $29.95 a month. Free installation, no money down, no activation fee, and no payments for the first 6 months on select home security system packages. Learn more at bsgtexas.com/radio. I love the security system in my home, and BSG installed the same system in my mother's house. Large, easy-to-use LCD screen, and the icons on the panel are the same as on the app. It's easy to use and gives you that great peace of mind. BSG is San Antonio's home technology company, a great local company built on trust, quality, and safety. They're the best in the industry. Call 210-877-1222 or go to bsgtexas.com/radio.
If you're a bacon lover, I've got great news for you. This is Michael Kilbasa with Kilbasa Smoked Meats. Our authentic dry-cured bacon is now available at grocery stores near you. We make it the old-fashioned way with the finest pork bellies and our legendary spice blend. We don't pump it full of water or chemicals like other brands. All you get is thick, savory slices of delicious bacon. I hope you'll give it a try, and if it's not the best bacon you've ever eaten, I'll give you your money back. Kilbasa Smoked Meats, slow-crafted in Texas since 1949.
Fact: you have a lot of choices when it comes to filing your taxes online. But only TaxAct guarantees you'll file for less and get more in return. Sweet. Plus, TaxAct costs 30% less than the big guys. Double sweet. And TaxAct backs your return with a $100,000 accuracy guarantee. Triple sweet. So if you want to file for less and get more, start for free at taxact.com. 30% less claim based on comparison of TurboTax and H&R Block federal pricing for deluxe and premier consumer online products on December 4th, 2020. See taxact.com for complete details.
It's time for some straight talk. Look, we all drop our phones. It happens. You fumble it, crack it, splash it. Well, Straight Talk Wireless now offers this new Platinum Unlimited plan that includes phone protection. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, plus 20 gigs of hotspot, 100 gigs of cloud storage, and more. All on the best network. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Asurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
KCDC San Antonio.
Hey, it's Kirk Herbstreit, and you're listening to San Antonio Sports Leader, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, and 94.5 FM,
where the pros play. Jason Mints, Rob Thompson, the Blitz.
It is the Blitz. You're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, on the go at ESPNSA.com. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. Got another hour of fun headed your way. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., the Saturday morning hangover. James Pledger and Jack Thompson gets you ready for a full weekend of, got a couple football games tomorrow, high school football all-star game. We also got the Senior Bowl. Get a chance to check out all those that are coming toward the draft. Lots of college basketball, and they'll get you all ready for it. Now, Jason, the Texans introduced David Culley today as their new head coach. Some of the things that went on in the background there was evidently Cal McNair was didn't play much of a role in the introduction today, and possibly just kind of skipped out of the building before the introductions were even made. Culley's stepping into a very difficult situation with high accolades and a strong staff, but yet it still doesn't quite seem enough to keep Desean around.
Well, and again, we don't know. In the next couple of days, we'll have to figure out what lyrics Desean might tweet about and see where he's going and see if Culley can smooth the fences, if Pep Hamilton or Lovie Smith, who's been added to the staff, can certainly help. At least we know now that the Houston Texans have a head coach. Now, it was bizarre. We all know what a disaster Cal McNair was on the podium at the introduction of Nick Caserio as the general manager. He didn't show up today. I don't ever remember any head coach getting announced where the owner wasn't present. I mean, you got the owner who's glowing about how he's going to be the next guy, and it's in the, and then you take the photos where they're all holding helmets. I mean, it happens. I mean, the owner is always there for the announcement of a new head coach. I don't buy COVID as being a reason not to be there. Hell, they all met face to face the other day. So, right. It's not like, well, I can't go to the room. We can't be within 6 feet of each other. You did when you interviewed him in person twice. But part of me's like, Cal McNair, well, he's a coward. Coward Cal will be his new name because he doesn't want to face the questions of what's going on with Desean. He doesn't want to face the questions on why he is so stuck on Jack Easterby, who also was not at the press conference today, although it did feel like Jack Easterby wrote a bunch of questions out and had employees act as if they were fans to ask questions because those were better for the Texans than having the media ask a bunch of questions. But, hey, they did fire their PR director, so the fact that they have no idea how to run a press conference certainly does seem to make sense today.
The idea that they can smooth things over, nothing has to happen today or tomorrow. The draft isn't for a long time. The season really is still in play from last year. The season's not done yet. Is it possible that maybe things need to just kind of quiet down? That let's hire Culley. Let's let those guys get into and start doing what new coaches do. And, let's let the embers kind of cool off and let's reach out slowly and progressively to Desean and let the fire burn down a little bit and then make a clear-cut case when nobody is watching. Because I feel like we're in a hurry to make the deal, make the trade, and that's not going to happen for a whole bunch of reasons. But primarily, I don't think anybody needs to do anything yet. Because the Texans are already kind of making their bed here. They're saying they expect, they plan, and they will see Deshaun Watson as their quarterback next. but there's some time to put this to bed, right? I mean, we can let this settle in and the Super Bowl go away and let Culley work his magic and buy some fish and, go over and build a fish tank and just really kind of get to know Desean for who he is, because I do think he has something to offer, and the Texans have rebuilt themselves to become kind of a destination for, all those that are involved in social movements and all that go along with it. That does seem kind of be a part of what they're trying to put together.
Maybe. I mean, they said all the right things. He's our guy. We don't plan on trading him. Well, sure. But you know what? If you can't make things work, what are you going to say? Yeah, man, we're desperate. Taking phone calls right now. Here's my number. I can't get a hold of that guy that runs the Jets, man. I don't know why he won't. Of course, Nick Caserio is going to start. And he started the press conference. And I will give Nick Caserio this. He started the press conference by addressing Deshaun Watson. He didn't wait to take arrows on that and get a bunch of questions about it. He tried to put it out there and put it to bed early, although it didn't work. But at least his opening statement was about Desean.
Which I'm sure there's a few out there. I just want to address a couple things here quickly before we get started. So organizationally, just want to reiterate our commitment to Deshaun Watson. He's had a great impact on this organization, a great impact on a lot of people, a great impact on this team.
Good.
And we look forward to the opportunity to spend more time with him here this spring once we get started. And, we have zero interest in trading the player. We have a great plan, a great vision for
he fumbled.
The player.
If Deshaun is feeling somewhat disrespected, you can't say.
And, we have zero interest in trading the player. We have I've got this card. You want to trade cards? Do you want to? Yeah, you can't call them the player. I know they're an asset, but you can't talk to them that way.
You can't. You can't. But I do think that they have put together a coaching staff. David Culley, Lovie Smith today announced as the defensive coordinator. Certainly lots of respect on that side. Pep Hamilton coming over to work with the quarterbacks and do lots of respect there. Certainly are putting together an administration, a coaching staff that is reflective of the players that they're going to be coaching. And at some point, that should not ever be, we shouldn't have to talk about the ethnicity of the coaches, but in this day and age, we have to, and we need to continue focusing on it. And to McNair's credit, and behind everything that we're laying at his feet, he has in fact put together the most progressive coaching staff that the NFL's ever seen.
Well, Tampa Bay right
find
now.
Somebody. No, I'm talking about a brand new coach that has never had the gig, that has stepped in after 35 years. He brought in another coach in Lovie Smith that has proved his worth over and over and over. Pep Hamilton, again, he has taken steps. Well, it would have been an easy hire to go get Bieniemy. Everybody wanted him, but they went and found a guy that had been passed over, moved over, looked over, and finally found an opportunity. Now, you could put a spin on that, saying that was the only guy that would take that kind of gig, but I do want to give them just a little bit of credit. Is it enough? No, but I do think as the Texans rebuild from the rubble of this mistake, that it will be a bit easier, especially if they can get a deal done that'll make it happen. But as James Pledger so consistently says, I have no track record that will prove to me that if they do make this kind of deal, that they'll make the right kind of moves to grow this team from the rubble that they are.
Well, there's no reason to trust them, the Texans organization, to do the right thing. I will say this. While everybody wanted Eric Bieniemy because you knew the name, sexy, shiny object, that was the name. He interviewed for every job. He didn't get offered one of them. Again, and I don't want to hear you don't interview well. Nick Caserio is probably a really good hire for the Houston Texans, but because of the relationship with the New England Patriots and the Patriot way and Jack Easterby, Texan fan will always have a lack of trust with Nick Caserio. They'll never give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't know if they'll actually support him. I do think David Culley could ultimately be the right hire, even though it wasn't the guy that everybody wanted and everybody knew his name and all that kind of stuff. Texans fans certainly will start supporting him if he's able to win. If David Culley can smooth things over with Deshaun Watson by Valentine's Day, they're going to rename streets around the stadium over David Culley before he ever coaches a down. That is goal number one for him.
As they should. But I think you have put it on the head more than anybody else when we look at the Desean situation. The disrespect plays into it, certainly. But at the end of the day, I think Deshaun Watson and his agent Malagueta looked at this roster and go, for the amount of money that I will make sure that you continue to be paid, that there's no way that this organization can right the ship under the salary cap restraints that are going to be put on them by the very reason you're here. So you might as well just exit, because they just will not be able to rebuild around you. It's not about that they don't love you. It's not about disrespect, though there is certainly a lot there. At the end of the day, you want to win, right? You want to get a Super Bowl. You want to be up there with the likes of the greats that you belong with. And if you don't get it, you won't be. And it's never going to happen in Houston. At the end of the day, do you think that might be just the reason why?
I do. I mean, honestly, you look at Deshaun Watson, had one of the best season statistically of any quarterback. In fact, Greeny talked about it again this morning. He gave the stats a couple weeks ago. 4 other times quarterbacks have had these kind of numbers. Every other quarterback that did it won a Super Bowl that year. Deshaun Watson won 4 games. They got no money. They got no picks. Their defense is awful. What are you going to do? How long will it take Nick and Culley to rebuild this team and put a winner on there? He'll be done with his contract by then, while Mahomes is collecting his 3rd or 4th or 5th Super Bowl, or Dak, one of the two. Let's say Dak. I mean,
Right.
Right now, if you were to say who wins the Super Bowl first, Dak or Deshaun, you would have to say Dak, and that's laughable.
Who'd have thought we'd have gotten here? We'll keep you abreast of all that's coming, but let's talk to a legend. Demarcus Ware is going to join us next here on ESPN San Antonio. We're doing a little bit of work with the Spurs, too. Game night San Antonio at 6:30. We're getting ready for the Nuggets. Hold on. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Oh, it's going to be a gorgeous weekend, and then the following, you got the big game. Maybe this weekend you get out your grill and you do a little practice run for what you're going to do for the big game. But you want the best for your grill, you get into Tri-County Meat Market, locally owned, full service. They have everything you need to up your grilling game. So, carefully selected certified prime Angus beef cuts, Wagyu, upper choice. They got the beef, the chicken, the pork, the fajitas, the poppers, and more. They got everything you need, Rob.
You need to head over to Tri-County for your trial run weekend. This is the weekend you perfect what you're going to offer for the big game. So head into Tri-County this weekend. I recommend don't even have a plan. Don't even have a menu. Just walk in and look at what they've got. And we're talking from chicken to beef, from seasoned to cut, everything you need to get everything going. And while you're there, grab some 5 for $25. Fill your cupboard, fill your fridge with all the staples you need. It's the best deal in San Antonio. And if you're a first responder, if you're military, police, fire, EMT, walk in, you'll get 10% off. When you walk into Tri-County, you're dealing with the very best, the finest meat purveyors in all of San Antonio, and you're dealing with experts. If you don't know how to cook it, ask them. They're there to help. If you want it trimmed a certain way, that's what they do. Get it pre-seasoned, get it made, but get it at Tri-County Meat Market. Head over to the Heedman locale out on Ralph Fair Road, or go check out their website, tricountymeat.com.
We get you ready for every single silver and black game on Game Night San Antonio. Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is DeJounte Murray.
Get the latest on the silver and black before every game.
It's Game Night San Antonio.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
The big game is finally here, and you can follow all the action at betonline.net. Tampa, the first team in history to play for the title on their home field, is currently a 5-point underdog against Kansas City, looking for back-to-back titles for the first time in almost 20 years. It's the GOAT against his successor. Check out all the props this week at betonline.net, including game MVP, winning margin of victory, and the length of the national anthem. Always available online or your mobile device. Visit betonline.net today. Bring the game home at betonline.net.
Strict attention to detail. That's what sets Kubota construction equipment apart. It's how we maximize performance, increase strength, and give you the dependability you demand. We engineer our equipment precisely at every level. It's what makes us a leader. Save up to $11,000 on construction equipment or get 0% APR financing for up to 48 months. Now through March 31st, 2021. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
Nobody plans on getting arrested, but it happens. Get out of jail fast by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. Call AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans and are open 24/7. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Injuries happen. If you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG has got you covered. Not all injuries require surgery. Dr. David Espinosa treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries and concussion baseline testing. Telemedicine services are available through Ortho Connect. If you're hurting, go to the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online, TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
Beachcombing, baking cookies, learning French. Aren't these what you'd rather be doing than thinking about your Medicare prescriptions? Well, Walgreens is here to help you get back to it with convenient refill and pickup options, expert pharmacists to answer all your questions, and Medicare copays as low as $0. Zero. Which is also the number of cares in the world you'll have as you stroll the beach, eating cookies and speaking French. Oh la la. Walgreens.
$0 copays apply to Tier 1 generic drugs and select plans where Walgreens is a preferred pharmacy.
Any credit card can offer cash back, but only Discover matches all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year. It's like getting one of those birthday cards that's shaped like cash, so you already know there's cash inside before opening it. But in this case, it's stuffed with your first year cash back match, and you don't even have to send a thank you note. Cashback match. Only by Discover Card. Learn more at discover.com/match. Discover. Something brighter.
Take your romance game to a whole new level this Valentine's with Diamonds Direct's most popular offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase happening right now. You know jewelry is the perfect gift to celebrate your love. And with this incredible offer, you can afford to go big. Like a $6,000 diamond tennis bracelet, just $100 a month. Or a $3,000 pair of diamond earrings, just $50 a month. Diamonds Direct has teamed up with the world's top jewelry designers for an expanded selection of Valentine's surprises for any budget. Romantic gifts starting as low as $400. Rings, earrings, pendants, bands, colored gemstones. The guaranteed largest selection, highest quality, and always the best value. Whether you shop in store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Make this the most memorable Valentine's ever with 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase, including engagement rings. Now through Valentine's Day. Celebrate your love at Diamonds Direct.
At the shops at La Cantera.
It is the Blitz here on ESPN San Antonio. Don't forget Game Night San Antonio. We're just a couple of minutes away from getting you ready for the Denver Nuggets. Jill Jelnick will join us as we prep for the Joker. Let's speak with a legend, Demarcus Ware, Dallas Cowboy legend, joins us as we get ready for the big game. We bring you the biggest names. We'd like to welcome aboard Demarcus Ware. Let's talk some football with the best. Welcome aboard, Demarcus.
Man, Jason, Rob, you know, y'all are hometown guys here from Texas. And I said, you know what? They're in San Antonio. I love San Antonio down there, especially when we went down there for training camp with the Cowboys. So thanks for having me on.
I appreciate it. A future Hall of Famer, Cowboy legend, joining us here. And you talk about coming here to training camp in the Alamo Dome. And as much as San Antonio misses having the Cowboys come to town for training camp, you know, we get to go to Oxnard every year to cover Cowboys training camp. And as much as I love the Cowboys coming to San Antonio, you can't beat what was in Oxnard, right?
You can't, man. And it was so crazy. I made a joke with some of the guys about this station. It was 94.5. You know, 94 is the number that I wore. And I never got an interview with you guys. I was like, man, I wanted to make that joke of, you know, I see why you guys chose 94 and why you guys want to do the interview with me. But Oxnard is great. Oxnard is fun out there, and it's amazing.
He is Demarcus Ware joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. Busy man. The letters I want you to remember are D2W. We're going to talk about Driven to Win and how you can get yourself. And I got a particular vested interest in this. We're going to get to this in just a second. But when you got Demarcus Ware on, you got to talk football. And when you're talking football and down in San Antonio, we got to talk Dallas Cowboys. All right, Demarcus, from the eyes of a legend. As we sit today in 2021, a brand new year, and looking forward to where we are, give us your broad scope sense of where the Dallas Cowboys sit today. We'll zero in on the individual issues in a bit.
I think right now is it echoing a little bit, but I just see that, you know, it was a growing process. You get to the championship, right? I'm actually deep in the playoffs, and then it started going down from there, right? But now I feel like they went through the pandemic. They went through the havoc already. Guys getting hurt, losing, you know, Dak, you know, certain guys not playing right. Now I think this is the new rebuilding phase that Jerry Jones can get, bringing in some defensive guys that are going to make an impact with a good 4-3 defensive coach that can bring in stuff with the defensive line, right? But then the offense getting all 4 or 5 offensive linemen back that can actually protect the quarterback now, and then we can run the football. So I think they're in a good position. Getting everybody back healthy was the main thing, and I think they're going to get the train rolling after that.
Demarcus, when you look at last year's Cowboys defense, and Jalen Smith took a lot of heat from the media and from the fans. When you were watching, was the criticism of Jalen Smith warranted? I don't know. I think we've lost audio with.
I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, can you hear us now, Demarcus? All right, we'll try to figure it out. When you look at Jalen Smith, was the criticism he was getting from fans and media, was it warranted in your eyes?
I think that is one of those things where he's going from a 4-3 defense to a 3-4 defense. Totally different type of player, totally different type of mentality you have to have. And now they're actually teaching him how to play the pass rush position a little bit, play a little bit different against the guards in the inside. Because when you're playing a 3-4, those inside linebackers are big because they have to take on those guards. And you're going to expect now a guy that's been playing a 4-3 defense to do the same thing and be as effective. Yes, he can be, but it takes a little bit of time to get used to that. So I think that criticism that should have been thrown out of the door. He's doing what he can do, but it's a growing process.
He is Demarcus Ware, the legend, the Dallas Cowboy and Denver Bronco. We'll talk about that orange in a bit, but we'll stay with the blue for just a bit, as it's always a pleasure to talk with a legend. Demarcus, as you look at what the Cowboys are, and we look at now the news of the day is, when are they going to sign Dak Prescott? In your mind, how did we get here, and what's the best way out of it, especially with the backdrop of what's going on in Houston with the Texans and Deshaun Watson back it out and showing the control that superstars now have in the NFL?
Man, you know what? You have an opportunity to bring in a quarterback that's really homegrown, already here in Houston, that can come in here and play. But then you had Dak, he was on a roll, right? Got hurt, and you haven't given him a contract in 2 or 3 years. Now it's like one of those things where hopefully Dak comes back and he's in perfect health and he's able to get that position. But as a business owner, you got to say, this is a growing time for my team. I have to make sure I bring Dak back, and hopefully he's the guy that we need, right? But then on the flip side, if he's not, I got to go and get a quarterback that is capable of doing what it needs to do, because we're in a rebuilding process. And you know what, Dak, I want you to be part of it too, which still could give him enough time to get healthy and do what he needs to do. But that is a hard decision.
When you think about the hard decision, I mean, for Dak Prescott and Jerry Jones, Jerry keeps saying that he loves him, keeps saying he's the quarterback of the future. You hear it from Jerry, you hear it from Steven. They did offer him a contract. They offered him over $100 million guaranteed, and Dak did turn it down. And, there's the years aspect that apparently is with that. You were able to successfully negotiate a major contract with Jerry Jones, and you were able to negotiate your way out of Dallas to go to Denver at the end, and you got that Super Bowl ring. Tell us, what is it like to negotiate with Jerry Jones on a contract the size that Dak is trying to get done?
It's the most challenging thing that any player can have to do, because he's a businessman when it comes to money, investments, how much the team's worth, and where you actually land in the NFL, because I feel like he ran the NFL, right? I just, from all the owners, it's just the way that I felt. So, after that first time, in negotiating with him, you got to sort of talk to him man to man, say, hey, here's where, I am. This is how I perform. And if you're performing at that point to where you're the best guy at what you do, you get paid, So, I just think that it's one of those things where, you see when he left the game, there was a lot of leadership that the team didn't have and what he brought to the team. And I think now it's like we have to have that guy back. There's Deshaun Watson out there, but how's he going to gel with the team? There's a lot of things that, go along with that. And that's where captains come in. Like, I was a captain for 12 years in the NFL and with Dallas and in Denver. And that's why I've sort of like transitioned into, the fitness space, because now I can affect people, not just from the stadium, but also through fitness outside of the stadium and getting them to live healthier lives, right? And that's just right here is an opportunity for me after 3 back surgeries, a neck surgery. That's the reason why I retired, guys. All in one season. And I broke my arm all in one season, recovered. And I said, I got to be able to give that fountain of youth to you guys, right? I got to bring it down there to San Antonio with D2W, with Driven to Win. I'm going to get you guys on that app. I just want you to download it. The only thing I want for you to do is download the app. It's free. We've downloaded a lot of crazy things for free, right? So just download the Driven to Win app and then just give it a chance. And I promise you, you'll get what you need.
Demarcus Ware, the Sun Belt Player of the Year in 2003. I'm looking at all the accolades. I wanted to pull one out you might not hear very often. He was, in fact, the Sun Belt Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year in 2003, joining us. Now, Demarcus, in the grand scheme of things, very rarely can I fall into the very same category as Demarcus Ware. But in this one, I actually do. As a guy who is beat up and wore out and lots of injuries from lots of things outside of sports and sports, trying to get back into shape in this day and age is not easy. I mean, just the diet part of it, because I'm sitting next to my refrigerator 10 hours a day. That's there. And then working out, I can't go to a gym. So what do? You have arrived with the right thing at the right time. And especially with a guy like me who's kind of beat up and coming from the place where you came from when you started this, it's a great way to get yourself in shape, because you don't want to be one of those 40% of people out there that are considered obese.
Percent of people are obese, right? And I sit right here and say, I just need to affect one person at a time. And just like you said, you're working hard. You can't go to a gym, and so that's why I created bodyweight programs to just get you off the couch, get you moving, so you can at least stay healthy, right? But then I got in gym programs in there. If you want to lift weights, great. I got that in there for you too. But it also learns with you. It's using augmented reality. So when you pop that thing up right here in front of you, it's me there, and you actually can get in there with that figure, augmented reality figure of me, and I'm doing the exercises correctly for you, right? But then, like, if you put how much weight you are, how much weight you're lifting, it learns with you. So it has machine learning in there too. So it's a machine aspect of that. Listen, I'm gonna get you on there. I see you smiling down there. I'm gonna get you on there. I'm gonna get that cake out of your hand, and I'm gonna get you on there to download this app. I got you.
I'm looking at it, and the augmented Demarcus Ware looks so much better than me. Can we augment me too?
I got you. I got you.
Well, and you look at it. One of the things I appreciate going through your app when I downloaded it today, and it just hit the app stores. So, I mean, people are starting to download it. They're learning about it. I'm going through it. The home workouts I do like. Now, I'm looking at this and thinking, okay, an NFL player in his workout. I remember when Dat Win was working with us here at ESPN San Antonio, and as beat up as Dat Win was, Demarcus, and you know this, he would go work out and well, let's just say his warm-up was more than my whole workout could ever be, right? I would diet, and so I was a little worried about this one, but you talk about the different body weights, the things you could do, because while we're all home because of Corona, we remember the freshman 15 that girls used to talk about. I think we all have the COVID-19 pounds now. So when you look at that, the body weight stuff, very interesting, because this is something I can do. I can't do your workout, Demarcus Ware, but I can do some of these body weight workouts.
That's why I have something in there for everybody. You got me doing exercises that everybody can do, but also doing some things in there to make sure you stay motivated on how to build the best you, right? This thing, usually when you get a workout, 30 days, you lose 10, then you plateau. This actually grows with you, but also it's me taking you along the way. And one thing I want people to understand is, like, I was actually there to help build this app. It wasn't like, okay, well, then Demarcus got a company to do it. All of the content I film myself here, right? Got a company for that. I mean, the hard work and all the voiceovers for everything, that's actually me. I'm not paying nobody to do this. It's me doing it myself, putting that work in just like I played, because I want it to be authentic. I want it to be me. And people say, you know what? He put the time in. At least I can download it for free and see what we got.
Demarcus, do you yell at me like my old coaches? Do you get old school legit on us?
What? Actually, I'm not going to yell. But if you turn that phone up to 100, it might sound like it. It might sound like I'm yelling if you turn the phone up to 100. At 80, maybe not. But just crank the volume up, and it'll feel just the same.
Well, I'm not sure I wanted it anyway. I like the kinder Demarcus in these days. Demarcus Ware,
Rob
the
Ross
legend.
get yelled at. That's what I mean, he played at Texas Tech in basketball back in the 80s. He likes getting yelled at. He needs a coach that will yell at him. Let's be honest.
That's how I got where I am today.
Yeah, you want that motivator. So guess what? You know what? The guy upstairs, Jason, has downloaded it, but you have not downloaded it yet.
I needed to be sold, Demarcus.
You have not downloaded it yet, Rob. Come on now.
I was convinced. Let me tell you, I got a ski trip in about 6 weeks, and you and me are going to get there together.
Get it. Let's get it. Me and you. Just go to the App Store. B2W, just go to the App Store. It'll be right there. It's one of the top new apps right now in the Apple App Store, which is really cool to have this app out for a week. And then they're saying, hey, you're one of the top new apps out there in the App Store, and there's billions of apps. That's a big thing for me. It's like, man, that's cool. That's like winning the Super Bowl in the software space over there. That's a whole different.
He's in it.
Yeah. Well, as Cowboy fans, we don't know what it's like for a team to win the Super Bowl. It's been a long time. You actually know what it's like to win a Super Bowl. You got that ring when you went to Denver. Super Bowl a week from Sunday. And I'm looking at, there's two rules, right? You never bet against Tom Brady. But how do you stop Patrick Mahomes as a defensive legend going in? If you were playing defense right now for the Buccaneers, what would be the one thing you could do to try to slow down, maybe stop Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City?
You know what? I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they have what it needs. You got Sue in the middle. You got Pierre-Paul and Shaq Barrett on the outside. And one thing that we did actually with Shaq and also with Vaughn, they let me rush. It was only one rusher that can get to the quarterback. Everybody else was the spy guy, knowing that Patrick Mahomes can move around. So you get one guy that can get there. Everybody else, the three-man rush, you let them hold him down and make him throw the football and make him make those mistakes, because they have the corners that can play man-to-man on Tyreek Hill and Kelsey, right? But then again, the main thing is being able to get pressure, and they can do that. So, with me, if you're going to ask me a question on who I think is going to win the Super Bowl, I would say Tampa Bay, because Fisher's out. You got Pierre-Paul on number 2 left tackle. So I'm thinking that he's going to bring the pressure, and, they're not going to be able to, withstand that. Patrick Mahomes, he can move around, though, so which is a good thing.
It certainly is. And this is a good thing, too. Demarcus Ware. It's D2W Fitness by Demarcus Ware. Go to your iOS, go to your App Store, get it downloaded. He's going to take you there, and he's seriously in it. He put it together. You want to train like a champ, work out with the champ, you get to. Demarcus Ware joining us here on the Blitz. We want to thank you for stopping by, my friend. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. We look forward to seeing you in person real soon.
All right, thank you so much.
Demarcus Ware right here on ESPN San Antonio. And I got the app downloaded. I'm ready to go.
Did you?
Let's knock it out. Finally, it's ready to go. Game Night San Antonio brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. Coming up next, Jill Jelnick will be here. We're looking forward to the Nuggets tonight. You're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Love the Saturday morning hangover? Well, watch along every Saturday morning from 9 to 11. You can watch the show live at ESPNSA.com or on the ESPN San Antonio Facebook and YouTube pages. Search ESPN San Antonio and subscribe.
Sports Center is brought to you by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds.
Available at HEB.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/news. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/news. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is Manu Ginobili.
This is Matt Bonner, a.k.a. the Red Rocket, a.k.a. the Red Mamba, a.k.a. the Sandwich Hunter.
Hi, this is DeJounte Murray. It's Game Night San Antonio.
Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
It's Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. You can hunt sandwiches all day. You can't find a Mellow Mushroom like that. Let's talk some Spurs tonight. He is Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. We are joined, as always, by our Spurs insider, Jill Jelnick of Sports Tonight. You know, guys, we get the Denver Nuggets coming off of a fantastic Boston Celtics win. It's the first of a back-to-back. The Segababa is tomorrow. I guess this is the Fegababa today. Taking on the Denver Nuggets. We get treated to a very good basketball team that is playing very good basketball as the Nuggets come into town, led by the triple-double machine that is the Joker.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Spurs coming off a great win, but shoot, these Nuggets, these Denver Nuggets are hot, fresh out of the oven, have won 5 in a row, looking for their 6th straight win. And just a lot of talent. Like you said, Jokic leading the way, close to averaging a triple-double this season, becoming only the 3rd player in NBA history to possibly do so. I mean, he's already in the MVP conversation. We talked Wednesday about Celtics being a challenge. This is a great challenge for these young hot Spurs.
Well, and you look at Joker, and you mentioned in the MVP conversation, the question is, how do you defend this guy with what the Spurs have on the floor?
Yeah, no, that's it. And that's going to be, I think what's going to come down tonight is how they can possibly slow down. You're not going to shut him down, but how can you slow down such a talented guy? And the Spurs, yes, they're great wing defenders, but they haven't been known for defending the big men well. And so Joker's obviously going to be a huge challenge. It's going to come down to Jakob Poeltl and LaMarcus Aldridge. How well can they slow him down?
You know, going into the Celtic game, I think the Spurs were, if they weren't last at points at the rim, they were real close. Now, they made up for it against the Celtics. There were some layups made and a whole lot of blown fast break opportunities that would have helped them even more. But we did see points in the paint, which is the Spurs have been their bugaboo, quite frankly, because they just haven't gotten a lot of offense coming from Jakob Poeltl. With the Celtics, they did score at the rim. That's the Denver weakness. Now, as good as Joker is on offense and as effective as he is as a facilitator and a scorer, and he stepped out from the rim now, they're not very stressful on defense. I mean, they want to keep him in the game for the other side of the court. So I do think there's an opportunity out there for the Spurs to capitalize on that donut. But at the same time, you're going to have to use Poeltl, I think, a little bit more than LaMarcus on Joker, because quite frankly, in the past, Jakob's done a better job against him.
He has. Statistically, Jakob Poeltl has guarded Joker better. I don't know if it's because he's a fellow European on a European matchup, or what is it, but Jakob Poeltl in their 15 matchups against the Joker has held Jokic to under 50%, roughly 48%, which is still very good. but it's better than what LaMarcus Aldridge has done in the past. So I absolutely agree with you, Rob. I wouldn't be surprised if Pirtle plays a little bit more down the stretch and if he does an overall better job. But you also hit the nail on the head with the interior defense. The Spurs did a much better job getting to the rim, making baskets in the restricted area. They shot 81% in that around the rim against the Celtics on Wednesday. A huge reason why they were successful. If they can continue that and drive again tonight, make those shots inside, then hopefully they would have a little more leeway to go beyond the arc and start to switch it up a little bit on offense.
And again, I mean, you look at the shooting, what was it, 56% against Boston. I mean, I don't know if that's realistic, but 20 turnovers they had against Boston is kind of an outlier as well. They've got to take care of the basketball. And, you know, it's weird, you know, seeing some of the comments that Coach Malone made before the game. And, you know, he talked about DeMar and he talked about LaMarcus and he talked about Patty Mills. I mean, it's crazy how Patty Mills this year has been one of those guys that other teams have to really prepare for, because if Patty gets going, Spurs are going to win.
It seems crazy, but at the same time, I think it's different for us because we know Patty Mills as such the backbone, the leader, the dad of this team, being such a veteran both on and off the court. So yes, it is great to hear other coaches talk about Patty Mills, but at the same time, I don't know if it's as much of a surprise as it is just a great boost for the Spurs this season, having Patty Mills so hot off the bench.
The FIBA Patty once again. Hey, coming back, we'll look at starting lineups and look forward to maybe a healthy little stretch of basketball for the Spurs as they get to maybe break some tiebreakers coming up this week. More Spurs talk here on Game Night San Antonio. Coming up next, you're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
The ESPN San Antonio 10K Payday. This hour's winning word is
winner.
Enter that word now at ESPNSA.com. Another reason it pays to listen to ESPN San Antonio all day, every day.
Great cash, homie.
Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, now with 4 San Antonio area locations, all open and all practicing strict social distancing guidelines. Come eat, drink, and enjoy safely at all 4 Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar locations. And get over to the newest location, Slackers Medical Center, now opening at 7 a.m. to serve our valued medical community. Nurses, doctors, frontline workers, and staff, we thank you. Slackers Medical Center, located at Fredericksburg and Medical Center, now open at 7 a.m. Visit slackersbarssa.com for more info.
If you're a bacon lover, I've got great news for you. This is Michael Kielbasa with Kielbasa Smoked Meats. Our authentic dry-cured bacon is now available at grocery stores near you. We make it the old-fashioned way with the finest pork bellies and our legendary spice blend. We don't pump it full of water or chemicals like other brands. All you get is thick, savory slices of delicious bacon. I hope you'll give it a try, and if it's not the best bacon you've ever eaten, I'll give you your money back. Kielbasa Smoked Meats, slow-crafted in Texas since 1949.
Injuries happen if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something. You need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG has got you covered. Not all injuries require surgery. Dr. David Espinosa treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries and concussion baseline testing. Telemedicine services are available through Ortho Connect. If you're hurting, go to the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online, TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
Pros bring something extra to every job. Now at the Home Depot, they also get something extra. Pro Extra, our free loyalty program built for pros just like you. Members earn perks with every dollar spent, like Pro Extra Dollars, a tool rental credit, and more. New members get $20 off their next in-store purchase of $200 or more just for signing up. Learn more at homedepot.com/Pro Extra. New year, more rewards, Pro Extra, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Have you ever wondered why eyeglasses cost so much? Glasses have been around 700 years. Isn't technology supposed to get less expensive over time? Well, there's a simple explanation. For decades, the eyewear industry has been dominated by a single company that's kept prices artificially high while reaping huge profits.
Yikes.
Warby Parker was created to change that. They design and produce their own eyewear and then sell it directly to you for a fraction of the price. Warby Parker's high-quality glasses start at just $95, including your prescription. And if you need an updated prescription, they've got a few easy ways to help you get one. Just go to warbyparker.com to try 5 pairs of frames for free. They'll ship them to you to try out for 5 days. If you find a style you like, they'll send you a fresh pair with your prescription. Easy. Go to warbyparker.com to pick your 5 frames to try on at home for free. That's warbyparker.com to get started for free. warbyparker.com. Your child deserves to be in the very best hands. The South Texas Early Childhood Experts at the Brighton Center are some of the most capable hands of all, earning us the Nonprofit of the Year award. The team delivers the best childhood education, therapy, and support in the San Antonio area, catering to your child's specific needs. We prepare children for kindergarten and the rest of their lives, because children aren't our job, they're our passion. Brighton Center. The right help at the right time can change a life. Visit brightonsa.org to learn more.
The Blitz, weekdays 4 to 7, bringing you all the best guests.
Demarcus Ware joining us here on ESPN San Antonio.
We get to go to Oxnard every year to cover Cowboys training camp, and as much as I love the Cowboys coming to San Antonio, you can't beat what was in Oxnard, right?
You can't, man. And it was so crazy. I made a joke with some of the guys about this station. It was 94.5. 94 is the number that I wore. Yeah, I never got an interview with you guys. I was like, man, I wanted to make that joke of, I see why you guys chose 94 and why you guys wanted to do the interview with me.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Let me tell you why I love my Spurs, man.
Game Night San Antonio. Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is Matt Bonner.
This is Manu Ginobili.
Hi, this is Dejounte Murray. It's Game Night San Antonio.
Game Night San Antonio. Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
At the base of it, the competitiveness in game situations is thrilling. That's always there. If that diminished or disappeared, then I wouldn't be doing this. But beyond that, watching a new generation of players that are 19, 20, 21, 22 years old is both a challenge, and it's extremely satisfying to watch them develop not just their basketball skills, but their awareness on the court, what's going on in their world, what's going on off the court, learning about the world they live in way beyond basketball. That still is a big satisfaction for me, and I think I would miss that. So I think those two factors more than anything keep me in it.
That is Greg Gandalf Popovich talking about why he is still coaching, 72 years young, got the flow going and the vertical to match as the Spurs taking on the Nuggets tonight in what looks like a fun little stretch. Now, good news, we haven't really talked about it yet, but we are expecting to at least have a Derek White sighting. I'm not sure how much he will actually play tonight, but this is none tonight. It'll be tomorrow.
He's out tonight. Dang it. He was going through pregame. But
I saw him warming up.
Yeah, they're going to unleash Derek White against those Grizzlies that hadn't played in a week.
I told you this yesterday. Why don't you ever listen to me?
Things change.
I saw him warming up, and I thought, well, I'm looking at lineups.com. I know everything is projected. He's not there, but I did see him on the court, and I thought maybe we'd get some good news. But here's where we stand.
First of a back-to-back. You knew they were holding him out till the
He's
second.
Fresh. It's not like he's been working. He's just been convalescing and rehabbing. The guy's got fresh legs. The good news is Derek returns, and I don't think we really we understand the value of Derek White yet. I think, what's my dad always used to say, you want to see your value, put your hand in a bucket of water and pull it out and see the difference. Well, I think you're going to have to put the hand back in. Derek White, once we see a little bit more of what he can do, the change I think is going to be ridiculous because DeMar will be in a better position to be the leader of this team because he won't have to carry so much of the burden of initiating the offense.
It might take a second for them to kind of figure out exactly how they want to use Derek White, especially when you have Devin Vassell playing well. You have Keldon Johnson, lights out, Lonnie Walker, better than last year. So I like the idea of him coming back for this game tomorrow because you have Memphis, you have Minnesota Timberwolves, and then you have an away game in Houston against the Rockets. I like that stretch. It's easily much better than what the Spurs are coming off of with the Celtics and the Nuggets tonight. So I kind of like the idea of Coach Pop playing around a little bit over the next several games with that lineup.
Except for, while it looks like easy games, we have losses to those Rockets and we have losses to those Timberwolves. So while it looks like 4 gimmies,
that is true.
There's no such thing as a gimme with this San Antonio Spurs team.
Spurs coming in tonight facing Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, Will Barton, Paul Millsap, and Nikola Jokic. Now, the Spurs predicate a lot of what they do on their depth. They're able to roll guys in very quickly and do a lot of the same and very different things according to the lineups. That's also the Denver Nuggets. If you get caught up trying to keep up with Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, Will Barton will take you apart. And we haven't begun to talk about Michael Porter Jr. and the abilities that he offers, the way he can stretch the floor. Denver is the 3rd best record in the league because they are that good. You wonder, after the great outing that the Spurs offered, the maintaining of momentum for a young team. That's hard. Let's see what Pop can do tonight, maintaining momentum against a very good team on a roll, Jill.
It's going to have to be a team effort, which is what the Spurs boast themselves on, which is what they've been doing this whole first half of the season, right? Just like the Denver Nuggets have depth, so do the Spurs. Spurs have 7 players averaging at least 11.5 points right now. And 4 of them are their veterans, okay? You have Patty Mills, you have DeMar DeRozan, LaMarcus Aldridge, right? But you're absolutely right. It's going to have to be a team effort. I think it's going to be bench versus bench. How is Patty Mills going to be off the bench? How is Paul Millsap? How is Michael Porter Jr., who has been fantastic for them and had a great game against Miami on Wednesday for the Nuggets? I think it's going to come down to those role players. We know that Jokic is going to do his thing. We hope that DeMar DeRozan can continue to take over in clutch situations, and our normal players step up. Keldon Johnson, right? Lonnie Walker contributes as usual. I think it's going to come down to that second half, the second string of players, bench players, who can continue that momentum from their game on Wednesday and also play good defense.
And again, you look at this, and Denver's won 5 in a row. They're 8-2 in their last 10, and all that. Since Rob always wants to look at playoffs way too early, we're at the quarter point of the season. The Spurs right now are the 5th seed in the standings. The Nuggets are the 4th seed. I mean, and I don't feel like the Spurs are that close to being a 4 seed yet. If they play like they did against Boston and don't turn the ball over and get into foul trouble, they can go beat this basketball team.
Guys, I have a prediction. I really do believe that this time next week, next Friday, as we head into the weekend, if the Spurs can do what we expect them to do and just beat the teams you're supposed to beat, and that there's a lot of those coming up around the bend. They haven't done it successfully all the time, but when you come off a win like this, and if they manage to put 2 together, if they get Boston and Denver in consecutive games with a win, expect to see the Spurs front and center with all the Nationals. Expect to start seeing this again, because this is when the Nationals starts looking at teams a quarter way in there. This is going to be a huge week for the Spurs, and it will determine their playoff spot.
Check your temperature, Rob. I'm not sure about that yet. They don't have the stars to get the national attention yet.
You beat the Celtics, you beat the Nuggets in consecutive games. You get that kind of attention. And I think this young team just about deserves it. Game Night San Antonio, always brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. We'll wrap it all up on Monday. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
Cowboys hired Dan Quinn to take over the defense.
My question is, did he interview saying, I'm not going to change the structure, I'm going to adjust to the guys you've got? Or did he interview saying, look, this Jalen Smith guy, you're going to have to go. He's going to have to go. You're overpaying him. I wonder how he got the gig. Was he being proactive, or did he take the gig because he was one of the guys that said, yeah, I can work with this?